But you do, and you're back.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is the real episode 255 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG! Yes, we are still doing a podcast. Yes, after her 250x episodes, it's still happening.
It was in jeopardy. For those who don't know,
yes.
It was seriously in jeopardy. Not because I don't want to do it, but just the program, and you guys know how I just hate computers, and because of that, they hate me back. I mean, it's really what it is. You know, it's a mutual hate. Is really what it is.
That's true. It's the lawnmower man. It's controlling all the computers, and it's just attacking you because
exactly
you hate computers.
Because I hate it. Yeah, because it knows. It just knows.
Yeah, this thing. It's just this arrangement here. This long distance arrangement. It's hard to work. To work it through. It's like technology. Like we have Skypes and Zooms and all these technologies that have developed now that we have been forced to bunker down. And I mean, I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong. I am thankful for them. It's just trying to get used to doing what we like doing, which in our case is just, hey, come visit me or I visit you. We just hang around. And we just have we have dinner. We have we're having beers while we're recording and those things we don't have. We haven't had. It's going on a year, actually, literally a year now.
Yeah.
So
almost exactly.
When technology doesn't cooperate, then it becomes irritating.
To say the least.
To say the least, we had a let's say like an incident last week with our podcast. You guys might have not noticed it because it literally happened 5 seconds before the end of the podcast.
Literally.
Like, this is not an exaggeration to make the joke more. No. This is literally as we are about to say our last GG.
Yeah, our sign off. We're saying our sign off.
And the freaking Zencaster drops Arnaldo like a hot potato.
Screw this guy, I'm going home.
And it erased the recording of the hot topic. So we were topicless. And this guy, God bless you, bro, because you are the epitome of patience when it comes to at least as the world knows you, the inner circle though knows you through intentions, but the world outside, you're Captain America basically. And
those are big words. I don't know.
It was gut wrenching to hear you this just defeated tone of like you didn't say it, but you could tell in your voice, like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to bed. Like as we had, our very enjoyable topic, I was like, I don't want to miss this. I don't want this podcast not to have a topic. And it hurt me. I was like, don't worry, man. I'll get you. I got you back. I'm gonna contact them at this time, and we're gonna open up a ticket, and we're gonna find that recording because nothing stopped the signal. And you're like, oh, whatever. I'll see you next week. But by God, I gotta give it to the support of Zencaster.
I do too, for sure.
They responded real quick. First of all, Zencaster is basically just a program that the website actually that we use to record this. They responded very quickly. They asked us questions. Like there was good communication back and forth to get it to troubleshoot, and something that I thought was gonna be impossible. Well, thank goodness, we ended up being able to retrieve his track of the podcast of the hot topic, because otherwise it would have been just silence silence, and then me suddenly talking and being
Responding
excited,
to no one.
responding
Yeah.
to no one, and then silence again and silence
Yeah.
again.
Unbelievable turn of events. But we are back. And of course, that lovely voice is Mr. David Santos, aka Dream Twister, savior
That's
of the
no.
podcast.
Savior, like, no. I don't want it to end.
Through his efforts, we were able to continue. We Zencaster 2 for the record. I mean,
Oh yeah.
because of that, we're still using Zencaster, even though we still have no clue what happened with the last, how that even
Holy
happened.
fuck. Holy fuck. You're not gonna believe this. You're not
Oh,
gonna believe this.
oh boy.
As you were saying that right now,
Mm.
it started dropping you off like badly. Like suddenly you went like echoing and like
Oh, okay.
so if this happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, you know what? We spend time together. We talk, and you
We
guys
sure
missed
did.
it.
And you
So
guys will never know what
it's
has
just
occurred
gonna
in this
go.
podcast.
It's just gonna go out. It's just gonna go out the way it is, uncut.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
So,
well, guys, if
yes.
this is your first time listening, congratulations. There's something to listen to.
It might be your last, also.
First off, guys, if you have not gone, we'll continue regardless of the podcast. We'll be, of course, goodgame.rocks. That takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, if you're listening to this anywhere, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, first we go into what we have been up to, move on into various news items, and then we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic, a future so bright. So what is this about? It's simply about Microsoft and Xbox and everything that they're doing to really try to shake things up. They're laying groundwork, if you will.
Yeah.
And it really does look like, if you really step back and just kind of look at it all and then say, give it 18 months, where we're going to be with Microsoft. You know what I mean? Where are things going to land? So we have some theories, we have some thoughts, and some commendations for things that are done, and also some words of warning, perhaps, to Sony, and saying, guys, don't let them sneak up on you. You know what I mean?
Don't slip at the wheel.
Yeah. Just because you in the head, ahead doesn't mean you just go, hey, we got this, because that never works out, for the record.
No, the sleeping giant always gets
murdered.
Slayed.
Exactly.
Like, what? Okay. I'm watching some messed up fairy tale evidently here.
Exactly. No. Yeah. Oh man. All right. So let's start with what we always start with, sir. Let's go ahead and do what we have been up to, Mr. Santos.
Yes, sir.
How have you been doing?
Division 2. Back to you. No. Drink your beer. And this is your time to drink and eat if you are.
Literally mid-swig.
You're okay, man? You're all right?
I'm all right.
No. I did, obviously, yes. I have been playing a shit ton of the Division 2 still. It has become my go-to for when I have even 5 minutes. I'll be like, I bet I can use this 5 minutes to optimize my gear or whatever, something stupid. It's like I'm finally realizing why all these Destiny heads do that. It takes that they dedicate their time to the one game and the one game only, and they get so much entertainment out of the one thing, and it doesn't matter if it's repetitive or not, because guess what? It's not repetitive because it's less about the game mechanics and more about the interaction with your friends. I'll be playing with Chaos. I'll be playing with Dark Necrodancer, and we're just sitting around having a good time talking. talking about like nonsense, or movies, or whatever, and by this time, there's what in the division. There's no story on the division, so we don't have to worry about that portion of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
However, I
You're making
will.
your stories now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go. That's a perfect way of putting it. We are making our own stories. Like I went and beat the summit again, for the second time,
Mm.
and it's funny because as I'm playing, I see Chaos Reaper and Dark Necromancer. They're getting like insane loot and insane exotics and stuff like that, and I get nothing, for for some reason. So what they do, as good buddies that they are, they just go ahead and they hand me the weapons that they think that I might be best suited to use.
Mm.
So I call them my welfare exotics that I get.
Okay.
I am grateful for them, and like I had, well, I'm not gonna go into the details of the exotic because it's gonna be very boring for anybody that is not into Division Two. But needless to say, is that I get it. I get the excitement of getting new gear, even though the new gear. I mean, the gear is actually based on, obviously, real. It's real life gear. You don't have
Hmm.
the ultimate boots of dementia or whatever the hell they call it, the ultimate.
Good Lord. Okay.
You're not wearing the sword of a thousand truths or whatever. It's
Okay.
all just normal weapon. To be fair, they do spin some things to make them kind of interesting, very to make him exciting to play with,
To obtain. Okay.
to obtain. Exactly. It's not just, oh well, it's just it just fires faster. Although my chatterbox do fire supremely fast when I reload in front of a bunch of enemies. I need to reload in front of a bunch of enemies, and then it goes, and I become a beast. It's so good.
Nice.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna stop talking about the division because that's super super boring. Unfortunately, that's the only game that I played this week because I dipped my toes a little bit into Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm just gonna play it like that. Whenever I feel like, let's try to push this a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
Okay.
Uh, I did watch a movie, sir, and it should not
Mhm.
come as any surprise that I watched this movie in particular. Was released this week.
Oh boy. I already
Yes,
know what it is.
yes,
No, please.
yes. I'm
No.
gonna say it. I'm
No.
gonna say it, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh my god. Okay.
And you have HBO Max also, so there's no excuse for you to have missed it. Because I feel like it's something that we need to talk about. And
Oh, I have my excuse. I
oh,
have my
okay,
excuse, but I'll go ahead, sir.
okay, all
You
right, all
know,
right. All right.
I won't interrupt.
So for those who don't know and who will not know, Zack Snyder's Justice League. So what is it? Well, it's obviously the 2021 recut of the original Justice League movie that came out in 2017. We all remember that movie because it scarred us. It's basically the vision of Zack Snyder's vision of what the movie should have been before he exited production due to a personal loss. Uh, just this movie, you guys know, did not do very well in the box office, and like I think we tore it apart in our review. Like this movie barely has any redeeming value. It's super soft, honestly. It did a terrible job of introducing, characters like Cyborg, um, who is played by Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, who honestly, I think he was done the worst of all the heroes on this movie. He did a crappy job of introducing the Flash and even Aquaman.
Mhm.
And don't even get me started on friggin' Steppenwolf and Darkseid. Terrible.
They didn't show
It
Darkseid,
was bad.
so Darkseid
That
wasn't even in there. Yeah,
it wasn't even yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah. So even so I mean this movie was basically uh what Anthem was to games. This movie was to movies.
Nice.
An
Nice.
overblown mess that amounts to nothing. So fast forward to 2020, and we start hearing that Justice League, they're calling it the Snyder Cut. And honestly, I didn't care. I didn't care when they mentioned it. Uh, by that time, I had completely written off DC movies. I would watch something like Shazam, maybe just for the heck of it, not because I was invested in like the lore or the cinematic universe or anything like that. It was just another superhero movie was there. Um, and of course the pandemic was it's happening, so nobody's going to the movie theater. Uh but then I heard that the Snyder Cut was actually a real project. And when I heard that it was coming to HBO Max, I was like, oh, okay. I became interested. I wanted to see. I already have HBO Max, so why not? I like alternate histories.
Mhm.
I like alternate fiction. so the all right.
I'm waiting
the,
here.
the Snyder cut. The Snyder cut of Justice League is not a good movie. I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Oh God! Oh God! Go ahead.
I'm not finished.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. I'm.
It is a fantastic epic. And there lies the issue with the movie. Uh I don't know why people call it the Snyder cut, because I feel like nothing got cut. This movie clocks at an insane 4 hours and 2 minutes exact. All right.
And now you have literally just given away my reason. My reason
four
alone. It's no. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
4 hours, bro. But you know what? But it's. I mean, it's when you think about it, it's no different than what we're doing right now. I mean, no, there's not gonna be a theatrical release of this movie, obviously, but uh, if it's just something that you watch on a streaming service, I don't think it's any different from what we do when we binge. Or you guys has got. I don't tend to binge a lot, but like you will spend hours watching a series, so I'm not gonna hold it against it because I I personally thought that for all the time that it took, nothing felt like I wasn't bored in any particular section. I'm not gonna say they nailed it on every particular section. I'm not gonna say, oh man, it's jam packed crazy. It's like, no. I'm just saying a movie that long, you're in danger of making parts where are boring. And yes, there's things that they could have possibly edited, and absolutely there are, but it held my interest throughout the entire thing. At no moment I felt like, oh, this is just dragging. And keep in mind, this is a movie that I already saw but didn't see.
I
Saw in
saw
the
but
sense
didn't
that,
see.
yeah, we saw the
Love it.
movie, but when you look at this version, is you might as well not have seen it because so much has changed. Even though it's still the same story, but so it's a remaster. That's what it is. You know what? It's a remaster of the movie. uh, and it took 4 hours to be able to unfuck this movie. The original 2017 version.
Mm-mm-mm.
So I'm gonna give you the good, bad, and the ugly. All right, okay,
Okay.
real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So the good. And I'm by the way, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Anything specific. I know this is an older movie that came out, and everybody saw it, but I'm not gonna spoil like surprises or any
Mm-hmm.
kind of like whatever. No, I'm just gonna mention what everybody has mentioned in the review so far, which have been surprisingly positive when you look at it. Um, I welcome all the reshoots, the redesigns of the characters, the addition of scenes. Uh, they all do a great job of expanding and fucking, like I said, the 2017 movie. Characterization. Characters like Cyborg and Flash are given the a proper, respectful introductions, and their characters are substantially more fleshed out. I'm not gonna say how or where. I'm just gonna say, hey, you guys remember that they were pretty much. You got the Flash with the I need friends,
Yeah.
which the fact that they kept that portion actually, but they changed a lot of other things. This movie is not as quippy as the Joss Whedon version. Um, they actually the reason for the mother boxes are explained better. Before I saw this version, I forgot totally that this movie had its own Infinity Stone like
Yep.
MacGuffin.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about it. Another thing that I
So did
really,
everyone else who watched it, just
yeah,
for the record.
yes. I know I know that, especially I'm not trying to be the contrarian here or trying to be championing this or anything like that. I'm just saying I Justice League 2017 was shit. It was not a great movie, and I understand you feeling that way, and I understand you not caring two shits.
Well,
But you need to see this,
it,
bro.
it's on
You
my
you need
list.
you
Don't,
need
don't
to
get me
see
wrong.
this.
It's been saved on because you were able to view the in HBO Max. You can anything that's upcoming. You can
Hmm.
it is just going to have a trailer for it. You can't really, but once you tag it, it becomes part of your list. And when it's released, the movie's now on your list.
Yeah,
So it's been there since the trailer has been aired on HBO Max for weeks now.
yeah.
And it's not saying I don't want to, but I'll let you finish.
I'll let you finish. Okay. See, I want to discuss this movie with you because I want to take your take. I'm very interested in hearing your take on it. Also, another thing that I really like, I don't want to forget. Oh, the music. The music is fantastic, bro. It is very well orchestrated. It is very different to the like. I want to go tomorrow and watch the 2017 version again, just so that I can contrast and compare and contrast. Uh, with it, because it does feel dark. It's a darker version of Justice League, and everybody's like, "Oh, no, that's of course it is. It's DC." But no, hold on, hear me out. It is darker. It's a darker version, but it is in a good way. You know, it's not trying to be. It's not trying so hard to be the Avengers, and I love that. You know, they took some of the stupid, quippy lines that they just felt weird, after the previous movies. Not that the previous, not like Batman versus Superman was great or anything. That movie was dark, but for the wrong reasons, in all the wrong ways. But this one, I feel like it's more mature, and it's not trying to do the Disney thing. Oh, this is fun, try to put the silly things.
Yeah.
What I like, what I always refer to, the Hulk smashing Loki around moment. That it was a moment where I feel like, oh, we had that moment. Now we should make all the movies have a funny moment like that, and it just feels like, oh. So Oh, and they changed dialogue on this to reflect the more mature um,
Tone.
tone. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So it though it's doesn't they don't go all broody, like Bat versus Superman again. No, it still feels, however, it feels like there are that there are stakes at hand uh, that I feel like the 2017 movie lacked, and that's what I enjoyed. Um, Action scenes are badass. Uh, I think, however, they kind of overused the slow motion effect a bit too much.
That's Zack Snyder, my friend. I'm just
It's like
saying.
when it goes,
Yeah, that's
it's like
in every Zack Snyder film.
it is a little too overused, but it's okay. It's fine. You know why? Because they're still good action pieces, and I enjoyed them, quite a bit more than what I saw originally. There are still some surprises, so it looks like the trailer doesn't give everything away. So obviously, I'm not gonna go into detail on that. Now, oh, and Superman's upper lip didn't bother me that much this time. It
Oh,
doesn't.
they reworked the lip.
It
They
looks like they're
reworked it.
reworking it a little. I don't know. Like I thought it was okay. I'll let you be the judge when you see it. The bat. So the bat we already mentioned. To fix the Justice League, they had to make this into a 4-hour long movie, and I know that's not gonna sit well with a lot of people. But honestly, it was, when you think about what this movie was originally trying to do, which was introduce a bunch of new characters that didn't have their own origin movies, but this movie wanted to be like Avengers in a way, but it hadn't introduced Aquaman, it hadn't introduced Cyborg, Flash, and I don't even remember if maybe Wonder Woman was already out, but
Yeah, she was.
it was okay.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, yeah, it's a long ass movie. It's a long ass movie. The movie had, I feel like, it has an ending that is that happens 30 minutes before the credits roll.
Oh
So
dear
that should tell you
Lord.
this movie kind of Bioshocks itself, and you know what I mean by that, right?
I don't want to say because I don't want to give
Oh,
anything. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So so is that. It's movie could have ended 30 minutes before, and that would have been fine. Uh, the movie set things up also that you already know, and this is no spoilers, that you already know for a fact that they will never address, because there will not be a Justice League 2. Period. So it doesn't matter what you see here, what looks like an exciting thing, like, oh, whatever. It's not gonna happen, because we're not having the Batman, the same Batman. We're not having, unless they try to do like alternate timelines, or something, and I feel like that will be like a reboot. Obviously, it's just not gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, you're gonna see some cool things that are gonna be, oh man, that looks interesting. Oh wait, no, actually, that never mind. That's there's
So
never gonna be another
so it
thing.
sounds like they set stuff up like the first one did that you also knew wasn't going to get paid off. So
Well, I
okay.
feel like the first one was setting things up with the idea that it wasn't gonna be so fucked, so they was gonna have something. But it did, but it didn't. It didn't. Um, this next, the other thing I have, it's honestly not not the movie's fault, but DC villains have the stupidest names, bro.
The who?
The stupidest names.
Oh, oh.
It's like the sort. I mean, because you get the source material, which brings an alien conqueror that is called Steppenwolf, like like the rock band,
Yeah, yeah.
or the last name. You got Dark Side, Dark Side, because he's from the dark side. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Get it? You get it? I wanted to make sure you understood
we've
that.
Got it. We've had it for 50 years now.
That's my point. And then he comes from the planet Apocalypse. Because, you see where it's coming from?
Foreshadowing like no one else, right?
Dude, it makes you wonder if Kojima was involved in this.
For sure. For sure. You know what? And you think about that and you go, you almost can't even blame Kojima. It's like, well, you know what? If these guys have been doing this and everybody loves it, why are you guys getting at me?
Exactly.
For naming her fragile.
Because she's fragile, but not that fragile.
But she's not that fragile. Yeah.
And mama, it's a mama.
Yeah,
it's clearly. Like, hey,
yeah.
Exactly. And Heartman has a heart condition because of course.
Because why not? Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not? Sam Porter Bridges, because he's building bridges and he's a porter, and he's Sam because Uncle Sam, American, and we're trying to. Oh, anyway,
you can't really get mad at him now, right?
No, I can't.
Yeah,
I'm trying to conjure the anger, but it's not in me.
Come up.
No. Maybe if I had a trailer, maybe if he had a trailer with the Hallelujah song on it, then that might conjure some anger because, of course, they had to have the Hallelujah.
They had it here again?
It's like,
they had the first
it's
one.
like, what are you trying to insinuate that Zack Snyder is like the savior of this? Because I feel like that's actually what you're insinuating. And fuck Josh Whedon, he can go back to his Avengers or whatever, If it's yeah. Hallelujah. Oh, and the ugly. And with this I finish. Why, Mad Dog? Why in the mother of ass did this movie had to be entirely presented in a 4:3 aspect ratio?
You nailed the other reason.
Why?
You nailed the other and it took you a little bit to get to it, but that's fine. But you finally nailed.
This was the ugly.
Yes,
it was the ugly. It's not. To be fair, I can't put it. I was considering it as being the bad, but as I was watching the movie, it didn't matter that much. But it was still the ugly because that's the same aspect ratio of all standard TVs of the 70s and 80s and early 90s. That squarish look with pillar boxes on the side because all the TVs now are widescreen.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yes, you're gonna see the pillar boxes on the side. For what reason exactly? Like you want to call it like, oh well, that was an artistic decision. It's like, well, what does it bring?
Yeah.
What does it bring?
What does it add to the film?
Because I feel like it's the opposite. It's like you're taking away, if anything. It's like you have this beautiful scene, and let me tell you, another thing that I should have probably added on the good side. This movie has some beautiful shots and some beautiful, like, wallpapery kind of freeze frame moments that I would have loved to take. And I'm not even a fan of heroes in general, let alone DC heroes, but there's some frames that are like, oh man, that looks amazing. That looks gorgeous. That looks so badass. And yeah, you can't because it's pillar boxed on the side for some reason, That said, it's gimmicky, and but honestly, it didn't deter away from my enjoyment of the movie. That's all I gotta say, sir.
Okay, all right. So obviously, I have no opinion. First off, anything I'm about to say is not an opinion of the films. I have not seen it. However,
Yeah.
I am pretty sure that it's going to be, in comparison to the first one, I am positive that it's going to be, a better version of the original, because the original was already confused. You had, Zack Snyder, completing the majority of it. Joss Whedon comes in to finish it. Contrary to what everybody wants to believe, this is what I believe. And that is, it was not Joss Whedon who wanted to make it happy. It was DC and Warner Brothers going, oh, we need to make it happier because Batman versus Superman was panned because it wasn't whatever. And I said it then, I'll say it again. The fact that it made it dark was not Batman versus Superman's problem. So it was the furthest thing from the problem. I actually enjoyed the fact that it went a much darker route. I did not like the Justice League because they decided to 180 on their vision, and suddenly you have this. You can't even connect them because they don't even feel like they're in the same world. Say what you want about the Marvel ones. At least there's an overall theme. It doesn't steer away from a lot of the. You still have your action, you still have your seriousness, and yeah, you have some funny moments, and that's just how they deliver it. You know what I mean? And so you knew every time this is what you're going to get. You're not going to go, it's not going to suddenly feel like you're watching a freaking, some crazy thriller slasher. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense. Or it just doesn't fit within that world. So that was not the issue. So yes, the fact that it's 4 hours long is an affront to me, unfortunately. It feels like, so first off, you
for the person that minds you doesn't mind going like 5 or 6 hours, sometimes the way until the almost half of the next day, at 3 or 4 a.m. I mean, watching whatever, this comes from the person that will watch a same series all the way to like 5-10 hours if he needs to.
So the difference is simple. The difference is simple. I can definitely say that, yes, I have done that. I don't do it often because I don't have the time to do that like much, but I do that. The difference is I can walk away at any point and not have to worry about like leaving something halfway. If you were in 4 hours,
I'm glad. 4 hours. I'm glad. No. I'm glad you mentioned that, sir, because it just so happened, and I forgot to mention that this movie is divided in chapters. So you can watch a chapter and then just leave it at where it ends, and that will be your complete story.
Where does it show that? Because I literally pulled it up the other day, yesterday. It had to have been yesterday, and I'm going because I heard that. And I'm like, this is supposed to be in segments. Well, I don't see segments. I only see a play button and play, and it goes to play. And I'm like, wait a minute. You don't want to, you know what I mean?
So no, it doesn't divide. So what I learned was that the movie was going to be released in both formats as a 4-hour ordeal and a mini series. And the section of mini series, once you watch the movie, it makes sense because it literally does the Chapter 1, and then it goes, and then it closes, that chapter, and then goes Chapter 2, and so it is divided. It just does a continuous, exactly. Okay. So you will have to press.
So that's like a Quentin Tarantino film, basically, because that's what Quentin Tarantino does.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
you can do that. Hey, you can do that. You can do
it's possible. Yes, it is possible.
You can do it like that.
When I first saw it, I didn't see the option for it, and I was like, "These fuckers want me to sit here for 4 hours." And you know me when it comes to time. Time is just like I need to. And so my entire time that I saw that movie was out, I'm going, where can I fit this? Where can we see? So I'm off Thursday, but we got stuff going on. No, can't do it then. And it's a 4-hour segment, so it's like I need.
Fuck it, let's not do the podcast then. Let's just watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
you know what? We'll be recording as we're watching, and then our commentary is gonna be the podcast.
And I refuse to stop movies halfway. I refuse to stop movies halfway. I know this is a me thing. It has nothing to do with whatever. I refuse to stop movies halfway. I don't watch it like some people who go, "Oh, I'll just stop it. I'll finish it tomorrow." No, if we're starting, we're finishing it. There's no halfsies here. And then the other thing is, why is it in 4.3? Why is it in 4.3 ratio? There is no reason. The reason given is the film is presented in 4.3 format to preserve the integrity of Zack Snyder's creative vision. That's a load of bullshit because there was not one thing filmed in the original 4.3. So 4.3. So why is this his original version? And there lies the issue. This is not a remaster, dude. This is a game that came out shitty and then got fixed later on.
They got
patched to hell. And this is what you have. Now you have
this is not
125 gigabyte game because there was so many patches. Okay, do you see the comparison? It's
This
just
is No
like
Man's Sky.
this is not No Man's Sky. This is what Cyberpunk is going to be. This is what Call of Duty is. With its massive thing that even in the new consoles you can't even fit the shit.
But listen, it's you're not wrong on that. But I'm saying it is good. It is actually an enjoyable because how can it not be good? Think about this.
I'm saying I am not saying that it's not.
I know you're not. Let me finish my thought.
Oh, okay.
It cannot. There is no way to fail this again. They literally released the alpha version in 2017, though the beta, right? They took all the feedback of everybody that saw it, and then they were like, "Well, okay, we need to add this. We need to add this. They want this. They want this. They want cyber story. So let's give them a cyber story. Oh, they want this. The problem was that they ended up with this feature creep monster." And by that time it was like, holy shit, I don't dare to cut anything because I don't want anybody to pan it out like what do we cut? And somebody went like, well, let's just cut the corners, and that's the Snyder cut.
Oh, I disagree 100%. The majority of the stuff we're watching is new. New. It's 2-hour film, and sure, there was because with any movie, there's a little bit that's going to be cut off here and there.
Yeah.
A large portion of this is new. So this is not your original vision. This is, hey, let's do everything we can. Oh, and by the way, we're going to spend $300 and something million to fix Justice League. You know what I'm saying?
It couldn't have. Yeah, it couldn't have been. You're absolutely right on that. It went into the deep end when it came to trying to fix that. That's why I'm saying that this feels like a honestly like a patch. The only way to patch this was to bulk it up as much as possible, and that's what they did. And granted, they could have actually, like I said, there is a whole half hour of this movie that did not have to happen. That honestly,
so if it's anything, still bloated.
No, see, but okay, so I would have thought also the same, except that in no way in the main part of the movie was I not interested in what's happening. And this is a movie that I already watched and I already disliked. So when I tell you,
I already disliked,
the first time. It's a movie that, and I'm rewatching this one, and even the old feels new. This is a movie that freaking Rotten Tomatoes had out of 40% when it came out on 2017, and it panned like it just bombed at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
This version so far, I don't, it might not have the 400 reviews that the old one has, but it has 201 reviews and it's sitting at a fresh 75.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah. Like I said,
and a 97% audience score.
That's okay because the audience score was always high in the other ones anyway. So,
it was 71, so it wasn't that high.
I mean, compare. The difference between the two is still the same difference, right? More or less, But yeah, no, I have no doubts that it is overall probably better than the other one, and it has to be. If you put that much content in there. It has to be. It's just there's no way around it. So
you know exactly what failed because it failed.
Yeah. It's so like
you took notes and you fixed it.
And you put in you fix exactly what everybody want to hear, and let's just put it all in there.
Yeah.
And why? I still don't know because I have a feeling it's more to do with HBO Max and HBO Max just wanting people to go to their service.
Yeah.
So we're gonna fucking spend this money, and for whatever reason, because there's people who want this. That's really the only thing I can think of.
But you don't ask why it was done. Though. You enjoy it. See, you sit down and you enjoy it. I went with the same trepidation as I would. I mean, I'm thinking I'm gonna watch the Justice. I want to watch the Justice League again. Okay, so I can have something to talk about on the podcast tomorrow because I've only been playing the Division 2. So let's watch this, and I invite my wife to watch it, and we all know what to expect because, we all experienced already the original Justice League, and we didn't care for it. We were like, okay, let's just see what they did. It's 4 hours, it's four. Actually, no, my bad. I didn't know that it was 4 hours. I mean, I heard that it was very, very long, but I didn't realize that it was 4 hours until I accidentally paused it. Well, I paused it to go pee, not accidentally. I had to go pee, and I saw that thing, and it still said like, "Holy shit, we've only watched like a quarter of this movie," and I thought it was, I thought it was already like starting to wrap up. Like
That
they're
is
gonna wake up
hilarious.
Superman, and
That is hilarious. That is in that is hilarious.
but it's
I already knew it was
it's not
4 hours
bloating though.
long. Yeah.
It's not. I mean, sorry. It is by definition it is bloating in the sense that it is way.
You think you can if you think that it can end comfortably in a half hour before, then yes, it is.
Yes,
bloating.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But see, even the end, like it didn't offend me as bad, because I saw that as, well, that's just bonus. And once you see what it is, you will realize like,
Bonus material.
oh, that's just bonus. Yeah, that
But
could have been a
this is
DVD
This
section
is
or
a long stinger, is what this is.
there you go. That's all it is. It's a long ass stinger because of course the movie's already 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
So why not have a half-hour stinger to make it an even 4?
just exactly, just to round it out or split it out,
Just go for it.
Makes sense.
I will still absolutely 100% recommend it. I was, by the end of it, I was so pleased with the fact that yes, it was 4 hours, but man, I had a good time. And I'm not saying, dude, I'm not saying this is like, I'm not trying to paint it as the ultimate movie, nothing like that.
No, of course, yeah.
You like hero movies, you like action movies, you like movies that have cool moments and are done very well, and you enjoy story. And aside from the 4:3 aspect ratio, you like movies that have that have good vistas and good environment, all that. Dude, you remember the last part of of the 2017 Justice League, where it just sky it's like the sky is, it's so red that everything is red, like the whole screen is red. They even addressed that. So they obviously put some thought. They obviously saw the criticism, and at the end of it, I was happy with what I saw so much that I was like, man, HBO, I know you're not gonna, and it doesn't make any sense, but man, I would love to see a fixed version of Batman versus Superman, because underneath it all, there was a movie there that spoke to me. There was a movie there that I actually enjoyed.
You did it. I told you that movie started off excellently.
Yes,
the starting off, I was in. Seeing all the events of Superman, the movie Man of Steel, through the eyes of Batman on the streets.
Yeah,
dude, that was legendary. It had me.
Yeah.
And then lost me completely somewhere in the middle in there, and I was, that's it. It's over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I will see it, but of course I need to.
We need to have this conversation by next podcast. Yeah, I'm not no rush, but clear your schedule. You can put the flowers of John Mapplethorpe aside, and instead watch this for a little bit. Even if you watch it in chapters, as long as you finish it by next podcast, we can talk about it. I feel like we're gonna have a good time.
Okay.
Because we might hate it with a passion, and then I'll be like, but I'm gonna be like freaking David Gomez on you defending this.
You are crazy.
At this point, I was like, yo, I almost texted the guy. I was like, yo, you need to watch this. I don't know if you fucking find out how to get it, but you need to watch this because, it's not, again, it's not the ultimate movie to end all movies or anything like that. It's just watching a good, a fun and good version of what that movie is. Even though you're right, this might have been the vision, but it is like the totally uncut vision. If this was true, this is the totally uncut vision of what Zack Snyder wanted to do, and because there was no way in hell that we're going to release a 4-hour movie in the movie theater. Like the movie theaters would not allow it.
And like I said, I'm positive we'll never find out, or at least I don't think we'll find out. We'll never know. But I am positive this is nowhere near what the original thought was. It's just, hey, let's just fix it with the way they're asking for it. You know what I
let's
mean?
patch the shit out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I haven't watched something so eventful as Zack Snyder, but I did watch a couple of movies. These you're gonna know immediately that one was my choice and one was not my choice. But
And I can guess which one. Okay.
Sure, if you want to. I'm gonna start with the first one. And this is a film that I do not recommend for my friend here, David Santos, but it is actually a good film. It is called The Innocents, and it takes place in 1945. This is shortly thereafter World War II, and there's this doctor who gets called over to a what do you call that with the nuns? A convent? A convent. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just, by the way, the movie's in French, so that's another thing that most people are not even going to care. But the whole deal is she gets there and she doesn't know why she's being called. She's being told, I need help, and she gets there and there's a bunch of nuns that are pregnant. And
okay.
yeah. And you're like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? There are no guys. So
my type of movie. I'm already putting it on my list.
Yeah. So it's I mean, you can find this out from the trailer and everything because it's mentioned there. But essentially, what ends up happening is that soldiers.
Are you gonna spoil it?
Well, this is in the trailer, so it's not really that much of a spoiler.
Okay.
Soldiers through the war have come through here and there, and had their way whenever they had to weigh. Exactly. So the premise, the main premise of the movie is how obviously the women deal with what they have to do because they have this belief, that they're supposed to be pure and all this stuff, and it's just it's a whole big thing, and it's a good movie. It's definitely not a. Let's just say there's a couple moments where you're like, oh, I can't. It's one of those moments where you're like, I can't. You don't want to watch certain things. So I was like, okay.
What did I get myself into? But I'm still watching.
Yeah. I'm not going to stick long on this. It is a good film. Came out in 2016. It is in French, so if you're into,
on top of that, yeah, okay, that's what I did. That's the tip. Okay. Now I am putting it on first. That's gonna be the next movie.
That's the next film. Okay.
Yes. Good stuff. Right next to Rochelle. Yeah. The story about the long journey of a young lady from Milan to Minsk.
Rochelle. Is that a real one? That sounds right. That sounds like it's a real one.
That's from Seinfeld.
Oh, okay. So anyway, that's in a sense, and I'm just going to move on from that one. It is good if you're interested in those type of films. The other one I saw is actually a movie on HBO Max, and it was one of the films that came out early to their service, was also in the theater. And unfortunately, it's already out of HBO Max, but you can see it in the theater, and who knows, it'll eventually come back around. But it's called Judas and the Black Messiah. And
I missed that.
This movie is actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed this film. So what it is, it's based on a true story. First off, there's a real person in real life. You can look them up. Fred Hampton. He was a Black Panther party chairman. And he famously created the Rainbow Coalition, which was a lot of people always thought it was Black Panther was all about just them and getting the rights for Black people and all this stuff. And he was getting white folks, he was getting Spanish folks. It was this entire thing because it was not about that. It was about how a lot of these communities were being treated within cities. This takes place in Chicago, and so. It is the story of this is Judas, obviously the betrayer, is played by what is his name? Lakeith Stanfield, and Daniel Kaluuya is who plays Fred Hampton. Daniel Kaluuya, you know him from Get Out. Lakeith Stanfield, you know him from Sorry to Bother You with the horse folk. Yeah.
That was a great movie. So good. You guys need to watch. Sorry to bother you, please.
So Lakeith Stanfield ends up sort of infiltrating for the FBI, into the Black Panther. Again, this is based on a true story. So honestly, I'm not going to say anything else, even though it's all out there anyway, because this is true.
Yeah, but it's fair. Yeah, don't.
Yeah, I won't say much, but I will say this: I really enjoyed it. I think Daniel Kaluuya did a fucking phenomenal job. I mean, he was phenomenal in this fucking role. I have actually rewatched the trailer of the film only because he has one of his segments from a speech that he gives that is just so powerful. You know, when he's just everyone repeat after me. I am a revolutionary. You know what I mean? They all repeat, and it's just like, dude, it's a very powerful film. What's crazy about it though is, so I knew of Fred Hampton, and I knew all the stuff that he did and all, and I knew that the Black Panthers, and this is probably a thing I wish the film had more. The Black Panthers will always look to be like this militant group that was just looking for rights, and they will do it any way they can. They had guns and all this stuff. But what always people leave out is what they were doing in their communities. You know, they were always doing charity. They were always doing helping the kids in the community by feeding hungry kids and schooling and all this stuff that no one ever talks about. And the film kind of glazes over that, which is a little frustrating to me, because it's just like, man, if you threw a little bit more of that in there, you know, people will know. You know, it wasn't about what was going. It wasn't just about that. It was, you know, they were trying to do what their government wasn't doing. You know what I mean? And that's why they were doing it. But on top of that, they were just sick and tired of being fucking sick and tired. You know, that's the whole deal. So that's why they became, you know, a force to be reckoned with during that time. And it wasn't even that big of. I mean, it was an unnecessary thing where the FBI just kind of put them on a most wanted for no fucking reason. They were not, you know, they weren't changing the, you know, they weren't on any danger of overthrowing the government or anything like that. It was just stupid. But anyway, so that's one knock that I give against it. But another one is, I found out later, and I guess I should have known this, but the main character was 21 when this was occurring, and to see Daniel Kaluuya doing what he does, it's like, okay, well, this guy's in his 30s. Yeah, I can see him being this, you know, this guy who can talk to people and get them involved and get them excited to do something. To learn that he was 21 was like, holy shit. This kid was able to get people together and you know, and it's just like, I would love to have met this or known of this person when he was alive, you know? And it's really good, guys. It's really good. I enjoyed it.
I seen, I saw it. It's one of those movies where, well, that interesting title, and we should check what this is about. I mean, I had no idea that it was this subject matter. I mean, for all I knew, it could have been a comedy or something, but no, because I had no idea. But wow, and you say that it's no longer available.
Not on HBO Max. It's only, so the movies that are, and this is important for anybody who has HBO Max and wants to watch any of the films that are coming to the theater and to HBO Max. They're only on HBO Max for the first 30 days.
Yes.
Afterwards, they go through their normal routine, which is to be in the theater only, and then come eventually to Prime for rental or for own. So it's going to go through, but it's only available the first 30 or 31 days. So when you see one of, like, for instance, Godzilla, Dune, you know, these things, check them out when they come out, because they're only going to be out for the 30 days that they're there.
Like a Snyder Justice League.
No, that's there. That's just there. There's no rush on that one.
That's right. There's no,
especially since it's 4 hours. No need to rush there. But anyway, so it's an excellent film. Definitely recommend it. And I was actually just shocked how much I enjoyed it, or was moved by it, I guess I can say. So
more than Rochelle?
Huh? More than Rochelle, yes. Jesus. So as far as what I've been playing, I actually completed the game that I was playing last week, which was Haven. And let me tell you, sir, how much I really, really dig this game. In the end, first off, the music, I never knew how good the music was. It is like legit good, dude. You need to look this up or listen to a little bit, but it is legit good. I might have to find one here just so I can play it for you. But anyway, played it all the way through. It's primarily a love story, even though it's an RPG and all this stuff, but it's one of those rare I guess movies.
LPG.
Huh?
It's an LPG. I love playing story.
Okay, sure. So yeah,
I love playing game actually. There you go. Please continue. Take me away.
It is. It's actually available on Game Pass as well. So if you have Game Pass, you can get it. That's what my son actually played a little bit because he has Game Pass. But it's on Game Pass. I honestly really think that it's one of those it's hard to do these kind of stories in gaming. Sometimes they just feel a little bit awkward. Sometimes they just feel funny. And to be fair, it's a little awkward in the beginning, because of the way they're talking to each other. You're like, whoa. And I don't have my headset on. It's just playing. And my wife is like, what the hell are you watching? I'm like, oh yeah, I promise this is a real game.
I'm not watching Lifetime.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, would you look at that? It is on Game Pass.
I know, I just said that.
I didn't know that it was on Game Pass. Now I know that it's on Game Pass, on PC Game Pass.
I figured you were watching it. You're looking it up.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Here, check a little bit out. Check a little bit out. It's pretty legit, dude.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It is legit, guys. I actually have it on Spotify because I've just been listening to that. I haven't even listened to the damn podcast. So I'm just like, into this thing. Now, I want to say this is not a 5.0 game. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying this is easily a 3.5 for me. I really enjoyed it. It is a very light RPG. It even says at the very beginning, this is not meant to be a difficult game, and you can turn down the difficulty if you want. I didn't touch the difficulty; I just left it as it is. It's a little uneven in the sense that I'm having fun, whatever, and out of nowhere, some fucking monster just slaps us both to death. Like fucking hell!
Like one shot. Yeah. Holy crap!
So, but the good thing, there's no penalty. You get knocked and you go back to the last base or something like that. But you have everything you had before. It's nothing. It doesn't punish you for that, and you can easily avoid a lot of the battles. There's ways of avoiding it and stuff like that. So it's not meant to be. There really is meant to be more of their story. It is really well voice acted, and it's completely voice acted on top of that. I just really care for both of them in the end. You know what I mean? I just want them. And I think I mentioned this before. They kind of ran away from their planet. This is the very beginning. You find out that they were on the run from their planet or from their home, where apparently people are matched together regardless of how they feel about it. You know what I mean? And so they said, no, fuck this. I love him. She loves me. We're out, and so they leave. And so that's essentially the basis. And you start figuring out little things about them. They start figuring out little things about themselves that they didn't know, and it's just really well, designed or not designed. That's a bore, but it's a really well written story. You know what I mean? Just spending time with them, doing the little things that they do, and the stupid things that they say to each other half the time. She they'll be flying. They pick up a fucking fruit or something like that. She goes, "Oh, this one smells funny," and she's like, "You smell funny." He's like, "Huh?" So I'm sorry. Of course I haven't. So it was just weird little things that they say to each other, and like I said, there's these weird moments. I actually sent you one. You probably haven't seen it. It's on PlayStation messages. But I sent you a segment of it. I was like, I need to send it so you can see the sexual innuendo that there is behind all this, which is still cool. It's kind of adorable because I said they're two young people in love. So,
yeah, exactly.
So it just makes sense. But anyway, I recommend it if any of that sounds interesting to you guys. I did also get a chance to play the demo for Square Enix Outriders.
Oh,
and,
shoot! I wanted to shoot, literally. I wanted to play that, and I forgot. Oh, you know what? That's what I was gonna do. I was like, I want to watch this movie. When it's done, I'll sit down and play a little bit of Outriders because I want to have something to talk about on the podcast. And it ended up being, I'm gonna watch this movie. Oh shit! Look at the time. I need to go to bed.
Yeah, I guess I'm only talking about the Justice League. Shit.
I guess so.
Oh my god, fucking Zack Snyder. Anyway, so Outriders.
Talk to me, sir.
This is, I hate to say it this way, but this is one of those again, right? It's multiplayer, open world shooter, third person, with abilities. It's you can compare this to it extracts so many little things from all the other ones that are out there. Mm-hmm. I really, really dug the setup of what led them here. You know what I mean? Really? Is that something that it's going to build upon? I don't know, because they never stick along with the story in these games, because it's about the end game that really matters for these. And it appears that there's going to be a good amount of content and stuff like that. It does look good. It plays good. Some of the this is a demo, so you can forgive this, but some of the like capes and stuff like that act a little weird sometimes in cutscenes for whatever reason. I assume they can clean that up. I made the female version of the Outrider that you start with, and I really dig her attitude and the way she does things. It's pretty fucking cool. And
I want to buy all of this shit. Hold on.
But overall though, it has a lot of the same trappings. Mm-hmm. You have some abilities. I like an idiot, because I created my character, but I made it a Technomancer, which technically is a support character. But the reason I did it, I was like, oh, you can get turrets and stuff like that. And I was like, I can dig that. The problem is, because you're designed to be further away from folks, you kind of have to have people like taking the attention away from you.
Yeah.
So it was quite a rough ride. I was like, okay, clearly I need to do this. And I was doing it solo. I wasn't doing it with anybody, because you can just get random and just go in with people, but I didn't do that. So it was a little bit difficult, but I knew what the problem was there. And I was like, okay, clearly I picked the wrong one to go solo with.
I want to play that with you, man. I know you played already. Played the demo, but I want to try it with a buddy.
We can definitely, I can re-download it. I already took it off because I was like, okay, I already see what it's about. The setup, like I said, is really cool. Setup is pretty simple. That Earth is gone. You know what I'm saying? These guys come from Earth and they're landing at this planet called Enoch. They've already sent probes there. It's supposed to be inhabitable and all this stuff. So it's their last chance because Earth is gone. And so they land here. And they're trying to set, whatever up, and they run into like some sort of storm that they didn't know anything about. Even none of the probes mention any of this shit. And it starts eliminating a lot of the people, and you get affected by something. The doc, because they don't know what to do or how to help you, she puts you in cryo sleep. And then you literally wake up and it's like decades later.
Oh god!
You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh shit! So now you're kind of going through this area that was just all woods before, because you just landed there recently. Now there's like towns and cities and shit. So you're like,
nice.
You know what I mean? And the way it sets it up, it's pretty cool. And obviously the storms or something leads you to getting your abilities and stuff like that. The Technomancer's ability has like a freeze ability, and you're able to kind of just freeze them in place and then just kind of shoot them. And the gunplay is cool, and it just
how does it feel though? So you say so does it feel, because this game's live and die by their gunplay here, right? Mm-hmm. How does it feel to shoot stuff on it?
I think they need to I think they need to tighten up some of the gunplay. Sometimes I am just, for whatever reason, aiming off to the left of them, and I'm going, is this me, or is it just the way it's designed to, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I have auto aim or anything
Right.
like that support. I didn't put any of that on, and I don't know if it was available either. I wasn't looking. I was just really want to try it,
Uh,
and it takes a while to get going. By the way, it like there's a big intro. It's a good 30-35 minutes before you're
what?
even. Yeah, yeah. It's a very big intro,
Oh,
which is fine. You know, I think the setup here is the story. You're either gonna like it or you don't. I kind of like where they were going with it, but once it's going, it feels like, you know, every other story. It just feels like, okay, now we got to have a mission. We got to go over there. We got to eliminate these people. Blah blah blah.
well, the things that I've seen from the previews that I've read is that, because you mentioned at the beginning how these games are usually like story takes a backseat. You know, it's just there, you know, adorning the actual just the gameplay basically.
Mhm.
But this particular game, the intent of it is that it
It wants to
wants
have the
to
story.
have its
Yeah.
story, its midi story first, you know, that it doesn't just want to be any other, you know, gas game. Like I don't think that, or at least the mentions that I've heard, I don't know how truthful they're gonna stick to this, but I don't think this game has microtransactions
Oh,
planned.
I don't know. I honestly I didn't see anything for it, and I haven't read anything about that. But I wouldn't be
I read
surprised.
something about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But they have to have something. So you know, they gotta have content, and I'm sure the content
Right.
has to be there has to be something paying for it.
It needs to be sustainable, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
it
I'm
just
sure.
depends on how which way they decide to monetize.
Correct, with the seasons or whatever the case
Mm,
they may go with it. Like I said, the setup I was in, I was just like, this is a cool freaking setup. You know what I mean?
mm.
Some of the voice acting's okay. Like I said, I kind of enjoyed my character's voice acting. I like what was going on there. But again, once you got to the and once you get to the gameplay, it's now it's weird. It's a little bit almost contradictory in the sense that these are prior from if I remember this correctly, if I remember hearing this correctly, these are the makers of this game are prior people from
People
who
can
did.
fly.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
no,
that's their name. Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm saying is they it's made up a lot of people who did the old Gears of War.
Right.
So you can kind of
Epic
see a
people.
little bit of the Gears of War here with the cover base
And
stuff like,
Bulletstorm.
and Bulletstorm. Yeah, they did do that. Yeah, so you can see that skeleton there, but the
Mm,
game is also like it wants you to just be running around, doesn't want you to hide behind barriers and stuff like that. So it's a
okay.
little contradictory, and when you hide behind barriers you can get surrounded quickly. So it's like you
Yeah.
obviously don't want to do that. So I think it's also really really meant to have a crew. Yes, you can technically
Yeah.
play it by yourself, but I really think it's meant to have a crew. And so, which I guess is cool. um
Oh yeah.
but I think that's unlike, for instance, the Division. A lot of people have played the Division solo, and
Mhm.
they're okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Destiny, the story you can play solo. You know what I mean? Um, this I think is going to need a crew. For instance, a perfect example, like I said, I went in as a support, and while I was moving, you know, saying I died often because I was like getting swarmed, and I'm trying to back off because, you know, I have a sniper gun, you know, I have all this. I'm meant to be further away, but I have no one taking the attention of everyone attacking me. So it's like, fuck, I really picked the
I need
wrong
to think
weapon.
of. Yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah, yeah.
It sounds like.
So yeah, yeah. So which is my fault. I have, you know, no one to blame there but myself. I mean, I could have picked the tank, and you know, because there is a tank character, and I probably would have just been fine. You know what I mean? But it looks cool. Um, it looks good. It looks like it could be that. My only concern, like I said, is it's an unproven. It's, you
Yeah.
know, you already have huge communities that, you know, you really need to do something that blows people away for
Mm.
you know, to move them over. I don't know if that's this. I don't know if they're going to lose Division players here, or, you know, or rather if they're going to lure Division
Division
players,
doesn't have
or
players to lose anymore. They're at skeleton crew right now.
Division 2. Really? Okay, well there you go.
No, actually, I don't. I mean, it's
I hear
not
it's I
it's
hear
not
it's
Destiny, but it's
no, no,
there.
no.
It's,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
not Destiny.
Yeah, but you know,
Uh,
you still, of course, you know, you still have Fortnite, you still have all these other stuff that people
yeah,
just already go to, and this is,
yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be enough. looks like it can be, but I can tell you right now, I will not be buying this. And not because it's bad. It's not in my wheelhouse to play. So it's like, I maybe if I get it on sale, something like that. Or maybe if I get an Xbox One S or something between now, not Xbox One, Xbox Series S between now and then, because it is coming to Game Pass. So maybe, you know what I mean? So, but other than that, it's just like.
So one of the things I heard about that, like very panned mostly, and the reason why at first I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know, is that no, the story's fine, the different the different types of characters you play as, classes, are cool. There's one in particular that everybody seems to like really love, which is,
Pyromancer?
I think so. Yeah, it might be. But the the thing that most people tend to pan is that the environment itself, the actual area where you're at, if it feels like, it doesn't feel like natural. It feels very like video gamey, like
Yeah, because you will know, it's like any other game. You will know that there's a battle to happen when you start seeing a bunch of cover you can stand behind. You know what I'm saying? So, and that happens.
No, that's
Frequent.
terrible.
Yeah, it is, but it
That
is true.
sucks.
Yep.
That sucks.
And like I said, it didn't bother me, but I only played it for maybe 3 hours. You know what I mean? So it's like at that point.
That was one of the things that I saw on Gears of War, on the first, on the first two, maybe. Eventually you start making everything feel organic. And one of the things I like about the Division 2 is the fact that everything you take behind cover doesn't necessarily say, hey, there's gonna be a spawn area here, the enemies are gonna spawn from here. Like, it doesn't tell you that. It just, it feels natural.
This you kind of know. You already know. Like, I there was no surprise when I saw that this was okay. So this is an area that I'm gonna have to basically shoot.
It's like looking at vent. It's like looking at a vent on Dead Space. It's
correct.
Like,
yeah. Okay.
Oh shit! I know
it's gonna pop out.
I know it's gonna come.
Exactly. So yeah. I mean, that definitely is sort of a downer. But don't get me wrong. I don't play a lot of these, so I can't really compare. I just assume when I saw that, I was just like, okay, this must be normal when it comes to these type of games. But I guess maybe that's not the case. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I don't know. I hope it does good. I am the only thing I'm curious about is to continue the story, because again, the way it leads off, it's like, she literally blinks, passes out for a minute, wakes up. It's decades later, and you're like, oh, and she has no clue what the fuck is going on because she just got put in. Yeah. She still has like the burn from before she walked in.
That's exactly how colonoscopy will feel like.
Yeah.
You get put to sleep, and then the next thing you blink, you woke up, it's like, oh,
is it over? It's like, yeah.
And you feel the burn, but
you feel the burn. Yeah, you feel the burn. And if they messed up, you're stuck with a colostomy bag, which is not good.
Oh God.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's because it's a demo. I recommend everybody play it, especially if you're interested in these type of things. Give it a shot. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of dug it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be my kind of game, so I know my limit, and I'm not going to possibly buy into something like that. But
maybe I'll buy it for you, and then you'll be forced to pay me. How about that, huh? How's that idea? That has never happened before, right?
No, never with an open world shooter. Yeah.
I still apologize.
Open world multiplayer shooter. Yeah. Don't be fair though. I did enjoy it for what it was. He's talking about Destiny for the record, guys. He bought me Destiny, even though I wasn't going to buy Destiny. And
I was like, nope, you're going to play with me. Here you go. That'll be $60.
Yeah, that was the other thing. He was like, yes, please. Here's my PayPal. Thank you so
much. Destiny 2, one of the best games right now, evidently.
It's not. Yeah, it's not my kind of game. And this one squarely falls within that. So I know as interesting as I can find it now, I'm not going to get the same enjoyment that everybody else is. So, and I don't have the time to put into it like everybody else does.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
But anyway, so that's all I've been doing.
Back. Go ahead. That's the line.
And we are back. Apparently, my line was a little off. The cue card was a little bit, lowered. I couldn't.
You forgot it.
I did.
You forgot. So I need to give you. You were like, line. And
line,
we're
please.
bad
line.
guys.
No.
Line.
I'm one of those. One of those really like asshole. People and line
actor.
yeah. What is my line? Damn it!
That was your line.
That was damn it. Yeah, that was. What is my line? Damn it!
And we are bad guys.
We are bad, and evil. We are back with our useless news that you can use. And
so
we got it's very useless, but we have a lot of little useless bits and pieces. I'm going to actually start with a weird presentation that Sony had earlier this week. I'm not sure if they needed to even do this, but they did it anyway. They had a presentation for indies, an indie spotlight, essentially.
Did they announce
it showed off 7 different indie games. Okay. I'm just going to roll through some of these. Operation Tango, which was an espionage game coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Chicory, A Colorful Tale. It launches this spring for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. This is coming from the Night in the Woods publisher, Fenji. This game is kind of silly. A magical.
That it looks
let's just say
silly,
there's a magical paintbrush is involved, and we'll leave it at that. So.
Okay, so all right, never mind. Moving right along.
The next one's called Noor, Play with Your Food, which combines adaptive music with a very good-looking food. That game launches this summer. Actually, looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's worth this presentation, really, is what I'm trying to say. But Where the Heart Leads comes from Armature Studios, which is the developer of Metroid Prime 3. This actually launches on July 13th for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Where the Heart Leads is a choice-driven story game following a man through his past, present, and future as he reflects on his life and pivotal moments where one choice or another made him who he is. This one's kind of up my alley because I like bullshit like this, but I don't know. I wasn't blown away by the trailer. Anyway, moving on. Puzzling Places was a very weird one. It's a 3D jigsaw puzzle game. It's coming to PlayStation VR this winter. Basically, you're putting together puzzle pieces of an actual 3D image from famous places around the world.
That sounds riveting.
It does, doesn't it? And you're doing this on PlayStation VR. Whoa! Shitballs, yeah.
Nice graphics.
Yeah. Heavenly Bodies, coming later this year, is a physics-based puzzle game set in space. And this will be available also for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and includes local co-op. That's all I have for there. And then the 7th one, the only one that I thought was worthy of this freaking presentation is, of course, Disco Elysium, the final cut, definitive version of the game, which is launching on March 30th. Sir, this is really on my wish list.
Yeah, you need to,
I know.
You need to play this.
I know that. I think it was already out for PlayStation 4, but I was like, whatever. And then I just kind of looked a little bit more into it. I'm like, I got to do it. I got to do it.
It's a type of game that it is very European RPG type, which it's an acquired taste. But let me tell you, if you get this taste and you like it, man, you're gonna love everything, because
the fact that it's completely voice
right up your alley.
is
sorry?
it's completely voice acted, is
Yes.
100% like, oh,
And the
yes.
voice acting is amazing.
Legit,
I
yeah.
told you the first encounter with the little kids, and you just want to, oh my god, you want to punch the brat in the face. Oh my god, man, dude, I never hated kids in my entire life more than those kids.
Jeez. That's
Oh,
awesome.
dude. Oh, dude.
The final cut
You're gonna
includes
love it.
new quests, quality of life improvements, and voice work from professional actors around the world. Game
Nice.
was previously a PC exclusive as heading to the PlayStation Store, so no, it was not available until now. Alongside Steam, GOG, Epic Store, Google Stadia, because they're still a thing, and the App Store.
Oh wow. So iOS also
Yep.
interesting. Okay. All
Interesting.
right.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, you mentioned VR two,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh no, actually, you just mentioned VR.
I said VR
VR
also,
two.
but okay.
Yeah. VR also exactly. Well, I'm here to talk about PlayStation VR two
Whoa.
also.
Oh, okay.
And the fact that new controllers have been revealed. Sony has provided a first look at the new controllers for the PlayStation VR 2, which will combine finger tracking with the PS5 haptic feedback and adaptive triggers to provide a much deeper sense of presence and stronger feeling of immersion in VR experiences. End quote. Uh, Revealed on the PlayStation blog, the new controllers ditch the old school PlayStation Move 1 design for a more ergonomic set of peripherals that will fit around the user's hand. The controllers are orb shaped uh, and allow for a more natural fit without constraining the player's fingers. As of the new features available, the peripheral will adopt a lot of the best features from the PS5 DualSense, including adaptive triggers and haptic feedback to bolster immersion and add tension to inputs. Finger touch detection will also be implemented in a similar manner to Valve's Knuckle controller.
Mm.
Essentially, the controllers will be able to detect your fingers without the need to press buttons. Sony says this will allow more natural gestures during gameplay. The controllers will also feature a tracking ring at the base uh, and will and will be tracked by the PlayStation 2 VR headset instead of the PlayStation camera. That's a good technology.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes,
each
it's way
side
better than the camera. That's for sure. Shit.
Yeah, yeah, need the colors. Each side each side features an analog stick and grip button, a trigger button, and also two button inputs. The left controller will also have a create button, whereas the right controller will feature the options button. Sony says that prototypes of these new controllers will be in the hands of the development community soon. Get it in the hands. Um, Adding that there is still so much to share about the next generation VR on PS5. So,
Looks pretty
sir,
cool.
I have to admit, you know me, I've always been a skeptic of VR, mostly because, I felt like around the time where it was, announced, like it felt like early tech, and everybody had the thing right, and I always, consider that, well, if I want VR, I'm gonna want to have an experience that doesn't make me sick. And of course, for that type of ultimate experience, you have to, you had to do it on PC. Oh, well, that's before PS4 showed us that no, actually consoles can actually do this. But then I'll be limited to the library on consoles, whether on PC, people will create all sorts of shit, uh, and but I was still a little bit skeptic because I was like, I don't know if I want to play my games that way. It sounds cool on theory, but it is a very isolated and yada yada yada. Well, come forward now with these consoles and the power that they have, uh, or specifically the PlayStation 5, in the sense that there's no VR announced for Xbox. I'm not saying that Xbox is not powerful. It's just there's no VR
There's
for it.
none there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I see that, oh shit, it looks like they're taking it very seriously. As I gotta hand it to you. you suggested because I was thinking that, hey, no, next year this is gonna be dead, bro. Nobody's playing VR. Nobody's paying for this shit. And you're like, no, hang on. They got, they're gonna. And yes, I have to admit I was wrong on that one. They actually seem to be taking this very, very seriously, and
it's because
I like what I saw.
Yeah. It's because they were smart about it. They didn't go in like Square Enix, for instance, and say, "Well, we expect to sell 6 million of these units in the first year." It's like, no, they were looking at 1 million units the first year, maybe. They had really, really good expectations on it, and the real trick to it was, they outdid those expectations, because when you set those expectations, you're budgeting based on that. And it's like, well, we're only going to sell this much, so we have this much money if we do. And they were always ahead because they were always selling more. It's the highest selling VR unit. Period. It's.
I mean, when you consider. If you want, if they were crazy about numbers, look at Microsoft, right? Remember, Kinect sold a gajillion units.
Yeah.
At one point, it was the most sold electronic device or some shit like that. And look, where's Kinect 3?
Where is it now? Yeah, exactly.
Thankfully, super dead. Super mega dead. Ooh, that's fun to say. Super mega dead. Super mega death.
Super mega death. That's like the super version of Mega Death.
Oh, the band? Oh, Mega Death. Holy shit.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I can hear that, man.
I don't think anyone can. It would be too much.
It would be white noise.
It would be too much, for sure. All right. My next piece, guys. Square Enix, believe it or not, had their own event, because that's a thing now. Everybody's doing it. It's just a thing.
Well, it's called
Square Enix Presents is the name, and this particular one was Square Enix Presents Spring lineup. And so this event had a couple some interesting stuff, but I don't know if an entire event was needed for it. But they did go through a huge gameplay overview of Outriders, and I actually shared that to the group. If you want to check out, it's about a 6-minute long video. It's actually pretty cool. Kind of breaks down classes and stuff that they have planned for the game. The game, of course, is coming out April 1st of this year, and the demo, as I mentioned earlier, is available to play. I highly recommend everybody give it a shot just to see. Hey, could be your thing. Then they moved on to the Tomb Raider anniversary. So Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, of course, came out in 1996. This is her 25th anniversary this year, if I'm not mistaken. And so they showed off a slew of things. Tomb Raider crossing over with games like Fortnite, Final Fantasy, Brave Exvius, War of the Visions, and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Crosspoint. They also showed off the Tomb Raider Definitive Survival Trilogy, which is the last 3 titles combined together in one set. This trilogy will let players experience all 3 Tomb Raider reboots in one package. And so, yeah, interesting stuff. And they said, of course, since it's a year, look forward to more information on Tomb Raider. From there, they went into a bunch of mobile games, because why not? Just Cause Mobile, which the trailer looked cool, but I doubt that's what it's going to look like in the end. So we'll see.
Yeah, there you go.
Hitman Sniper Assassins, which is a working title, has a release date for this year. And Space Invaders, which is going to be an AR mobile game, probably similar to your Pokemon. And so those are the 3. Yeah, because we need that from Space Invaders, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't even know they own the IP of Space. Like, I'm just learning that. Like, Square owns that shit? What the hell?
I guess they bought Taito, would have been?
Maybe, like, yeah. It's like, I don't know. I was like, I guess so. It's unreal. But yeah, for sure. From there, they showed off some more titles that are really out there. I'm not really going to expand it because I don't think anybody knows. But they did have Bubble Bobble returns with Bubble Bobble for Friends.
Bubble Bobble, whoa!
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They showed off a game called Darius Cosmic Revelation, which is a sci-fi bullet hell game coming to PlayStation 4 and Switch.
Called Darius? Oh, shit. Is that Darius? Like, there was a...
Darius Cosmic Revelation. Darius Cosmic Revelation.
So, okay. So, that's the series then. There was a shmup on. I think I want to say it was maybe on Super Nintendo. Maybe it might have been the NES. There was
Okay.
Darius. You remember? There was a game
I'm
called
looking it up right
Darius.
now.
Yeah,
Darius
yeah, yeah, yeah.
game.
Uh, like a very old school. It was. I want to say that it was trying to be like R type, but maybe it's the other way
They
around.
have
I don't know.
Darius Gaiden, Darius Twin, Darius 1 and 2. Yeah, I see it
There
here.
you go.
Darius 1987, Darius 2. Yeah,
Nice.
it's
Okay.
probably right up that same. So this is Cosmic. What is it called? Cosmic something I just said. I don't know. Cosmic Revelation. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. These were
CR.
games coming out with a collaboration between Square Enix and Taito. And they also showed off something called
Oh, there you
Tuhu
go. Title.
Spell Bubble. Don't know what that is, but it was not interesting. So moving on, they spent probably way too long on Marvel's Avengers. They showed off some more gameplay of Hawkeye because he's here to
Hawkeye.
yeah he's here to
Woo!
save that game from
When are we gonna get that
whatever.
Spider-Man?
Who
On
knows?
PC.
They did show off a sort of like a teaser on the next DLC character, which will come with looks like a new endgame content called War for Wakanda, and it showed off Black Panther. So that looked actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. So from there, they showed off a whimsical title called Balam Wonderworld, which didn't interest me. Finally, they revealed the new Life is Strange called Life is Strange True Colors. And I have to say, everybody check out this trailer. If you like Life is Strange, any of the Life is Strange, I think you're going to be in for quite a treat. I think it looks like I mean, I don't know, but it looks like it's going to be pretty good. They're not doing, it is episodic, but they're releasing it all in one shot. They're not doing the one at a time.
Just like Snack Jider, Jack
like
Snyder, or Max Jider.
Just like Zack Snyder, yes.
There you go. Thank you. Just like Justice League 2021.
Yes.
There you go. See, that's
go.
what's in now.
Yeah. Apparently, that's a thing. So, and so the last thing they showed off was a title that they previously called Project Athia, and now the name is called Forspoken. Because
Forspoken, that's a horrible name.
It's a horrible name. I didn't like it, but the game still looks pretty cool. It is. They didn't really. It was a snippet of a game, or a snippet of a segment, but still looked like a cutscene. And they showed a little bit of gameplay. It looks really good, but not much to go on there. And so yeah, that was it. They didn't show off anything else. And so the highlights, really, like I said, Outriders.
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange. Not even Tomb Raiders. That was that big of a deal because. The collection, So
the collection. I mean, if it would have been a new game, then I would have been all upon. But the collection of games that I've already played, so guess what? You already own it. You already own that.
We already have a George. We don't even know. So
you already have a George. I know that reference. Seinfeld. EA.
Whoa.
No, I'm not gonna talk about EA. I'm gonna talk about EA Play. Finally heads to Xbox Game Pass on PC. Remember that they did that bait and switch that at the last second it's like, oh, you already paid for the Game Pass because you were excited to play EA games. Oh, well, guess what? It's not coming. We got your money, sucker. Peace out. So no, they're actually finally, after a delay of several months, EA's Play is finally making its way into PC of Xbox Game Pass, and it's actually available now. EA Play first popped up on Game Pass back in November, but there was a caveat. The games were only available on console. So those hoping to access EA games on PC, either through Game Pass for PC or Ultimate, will have to wait. Or would have had to wait. The PC version was scheduled to arrive in December, but the launch was delayed until sometime in 2021. As detailed by in the official video, those hoping to access EA PC games through Game Pass will first need to sign into the Windows 10 Xbox app, then click install on an EA Play game. This will bring up the prompt to install EA desktop app. So you still, so it looks like you still have to add what was formerly known as Origin.
Origins, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Origin still exists, but who knows? But the thing is, you need another launcher, basically. Once you've gotten all that set up, you'll be able to access a large range of EA games, including Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Titanfall 2, The Sims 4, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Game Pass owners will also have access to trial of up to 10 hours for certain titles, such as FIFA 21. Last month, we heard that Star Wars Squadrons will also be joining EA Play sometime in March, and it seems that well, it says that they will also happen tomorrow, which already happened, so it should be available already. Microsoft also has also been busy adding more titles to Game Pass, as Octopath Traveler is coming to the PC and console versions on March 25th. Outriders will launch straight into Game Pass for cloud and console. Yes, for cloud and console, and 20 Bethesda games have already landed on the service, thanks to Microsoft's recent acquisition of Bethesda. And then the author ends with, "My poor gaming backlog," because I guess that's the thing, right? That's the problem. Your backlog just got ridiculous now. Automatic Traveler, that kind of got me off guard. Caught me off guard because if I remember correctly, that was a Nintendo Switch exclusive.
It was.
I wasn't expecting it to be released anywhere else. And
I mean, I know the whole exclusive thing, and it's like when it goes to PC, it's like I still, because when I think exclusives, I think console. I was like, if it's going to PC, I mean, that's cool. It's great that it's going to PC and all, but it still feels exclusive. It still feels walled off. You know what I mean?
Because it's on Xbox also. So
my bad. So yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's on cost. It's on cost. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like the thing with Horizon Zero Dawn is not exclusive to Sony anymore. No, motherfucker, it is exclusive.
It is.
PC, it's its own thing.
It's its own thing, exactly.
PC is Switzerland, okay? You don't fuck with Switzerland. Switzerland doesn't fuck with anybody. All right?
Exactly.
So yeah. I mean, that game was beautiful. It was kind of boring. I'm sorry, buddy. It's true.
Oh, you're talking about Octopath. Okay.
Octopath, yeah. Octopath Traveler.
I kind of want to buy into it. I just never really did. But
try it. It's still a good experience to have. I just don't know if.
Sidebar, real quick. What I want right now, I want a traditional JRPG, and that's why I'm looking like squarely at Bravely Default 2, because this is your traditional square RPG. This is basically the replacement of what Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy has gone and done its own thing, where it's like, well, you still have this if you really want that, and it looks really, really good. I've been doing nothing but my homework on it, but not learning anything about the story. Although the story still has, the same old, we got to get these crystals to save the world. Nothing's really out of the ordinary, but I'm like, I don't care. I want some of that in my life again. You know what I mean? So
you're jonesing for some classic RPG,
exactly.
JRPG, huh?
Yeah, and
the tales of something.
Yeah, exactly. And the Octopath Traveler kind of falls within that, and it's also a very gorgeous looking pixel art game. So I don't know. We'll see. At some point, I'll pull the trigger on something. You know what I mean?
Just to get,
have it and get my fix. Yeah. But anyway, speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, guys, if you didn't know, Horizon Zero Dawn plus 9 other indie games will be free to everyone on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 beginning next month. As Sony expands its effort to support folks keeping safe and socially distanced in the final stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. Sidebar here.
Mm.
Really, Sony wasn't the only one doing this. There's many companies been doing stuff like this. Really dig that. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
put it out there, get people to stay home. You know you're doing well in the pandemic because no everybody the
Yeah.
gaming industry has done really really well. Even though every other industry is suffering, or
Mhm.
most other ones. Anyway, back to the news. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition will be available for free from April 19th through May 14th. A PlayStation Plus subscription is not necessary for the game. Uh,
Nice.
Horizon Zero Dawn follows Ratchet and Clank 2016, made available at the beginning of March to anyone with a PlayStation console. For the record, Ratchet and Clank is available to the 31st of this month. So if you haven't already snagged it, snag it.
What are you doing? Get
What are
it? That
you?
game
Yeah,
is great.
for real. Beginning on March 25th, players will also get access to 9 more games, 5 of them for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and 4 for the PlayStation VR. The PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games are Abzu, Enter the Gungeon, Res Infinite, Subnautica, and The Witness
Oh
for
wow.
standard consoles, and Astrobot Rescue Mission, Moss, Thumper, and Paper Beast for PlayStation VR. Those games will be available until the 22nd of April.
I had to get me some of those. And I mean, those are there's a nice collection there
All of them.
of
All of
yeah,
them are these are all indie. I
yeah.
own Abzu. That's Giant Squid's first game. It's going to feel very similar to Journey,
The
which
journey.
is
Yeah, you
which is
told me.
very good.
Yeah.
I own Enter the Gungeon, another one. This is a pixel art um, roguelike, but it's a
Uh-huh.
fun one because it's kind of those bullet hells. It's really really cool.
Yeah.
Resident Infinite is Res Infinite. Hello, I don't have to say anything about that other
Yeah, that
than
game's amazing.
that's the one I don't have and I will be getting.
Oh God, get to
Um,
play that game.
I
Is
definitely will be getting.
awesome.
Yeah.
Play with head. You have to play that with headphones,
Oh,
though.
for sure, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Subnautica, I'm not too familiar with, but I hear good things about. And The
Okay.
Witness, I also do own, and that's a great game.
The witness.
Yeah,
Yeah, you'll be the
yeah,
witness. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So here's a weird one that I wasn't. I was thinking if I wanted to bring this or not because it's not so much news as it is an explanation of why the amazing trailer that we saw for Mortal Kombat, the one that Mad Dog is geeking about so much, he's so excited. Just the mere mention leaves him speechless as he is right now. Does not feature Johnny Cage, and
Oh, yes.
that's a heartbreak.
That is strange. Yeah.
And Warner Brothers stupid reasoning behind it, or if not Warner Brothers, but the directors, the stupid reason behind it. It, it's worrisome.
Oh boy.
Johnny Cage, notable absence from Mortal Kombat movie, has been picked up on have been picked on by some dedicated fans, and now the film's producer has finally revealed why the iconic character is missing. So far, we've seen a good number of upcoming fighting game movie casts of characters, from new arrivals to the roster like Cole Young, played by Louis Tan, to longtime series veteran Sonya Blade, played by Jessica Magnani, Sub Zero, Liu Kang, and Scorpion. Uh, there's a lot to love if you're a fan of NetherRealm's incessantly violent franchise. But what it is, but one of the gaming series' key characters, Johnny Cage, has been mysteriously absent from the project and is notably missing from the Mortal Kombat movie trailer. The quote goes, "The reason we held back on Johnny Cage is that he's a very egoistical guy. He's a scoundrel. He's funny. He's bigger than life. And so is Kano," producer Todd Garner said during a presser picked up by GameStop. Quote continues, "So you go, all right, we are we just gonna have two guys competing to see who can out funny each other and out ego each other on this movie, or do you hold Johnny Cage back?" End quote. Um, then he continues, or just because we haven't seen the egoist, the egotistical fighter. Yet doesn't mean that it won't be in the future, though. Uh, God willing, we'll be able to make another MK film. We can only hope, right? Everybody's waiting for that. The Garner concludes. So, in essence, basically what they're saying is, listen, the reason why we don't have one of the most iconic characters of the franchise is because, well, we have Kano. We have Kano, and it's Kano is just like Johnny Cage, right? I mean, explain to me, right? Is that right, Amanda? I mean, you know
Not
about the
even
lore.
close.
You're a mega fan of Mortal Kombat, so you got Kano and you got Johnny Cage, and they're exactly alike, right? They might as well be Sub Zero and Scorpion, right?
I mean,
And
yeah.
they're both ninja. Why should we have Scorpion? I mean, we have Sub Zero. He's a ninja. Are we gonna have two ninjas on the movie? It's like Jesus
the
Christ.
the
Like,
the
go
product
ahead.
is not above palette swapping and all that, but yeah, those two characters are night and day.
They are nothing
Yeah,
alike,
no,
and I'm sorry, but if you are, and mind you, Mad Dog warned us about this. If you are writing the script in a way that Kano is sounding a lot like Johnny Cage, then I have become extremely worried for the future of this movie, or what it might entail. Because the trailer looked amazing, don't get me wrong, but if those are the commentaries you're throwing about, it's like, okay, so who else have you misread so, like, violently that you think that you know they should be played differently? Because Kano, I'm sorry, Kano is not Johnny Cage. Johnny
he's
Cage
not.
is not Kano. There's no
He,
reason to not have him. It's like the easiest character. You don't even need costume. The guy's a Hollywood actor.
yeah,
He can just
yeah,
come in
just
his overalls,
a random, Caucasian,
dude. From
Hollywood
yeah,
actor. Yeah, that's
you get a
at least
stunt
a little
double or
fit.
something.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be whatever. He just needs to be fit.
he's the
And
only
boom,
character that does not need a costume.
you throw on some sunglasses and you're
Yeah,
good. There's Johnny Cage.
yes,
No, I
Johnny
think
C.
I remember, what did I watch? I was watching something on YouTube. God, I fucking my troops through YouTube sometimes happen so long that I just, like, everything becomes kind of a blur. But somewhere in YouTube there was like some interview with the guys who were making Mortal Kombat shortly after the trailer was released,
uh,
and somewhere along the line the director was just all about this dude playing Kano, and he mentioned the actor's name. I don't know the actor's name because I don't know the actor, but I don't
nobody
know,
knows the
dude. There
actor's
was
name.
just this thing where it's like, but he's just playing Kano. Why do we
Like,
care? You know
is
what I
he
mean?
the protagonist? I
I
mean, you're
think I
trying to make.
think Kano has been rewritten for this particular film, to
Yeah.
be, maybe not to be good, but definitely to be more than what Kano normally is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kano was a mercenary who was an ass,
Yeah.
and
He's an assassin.
say what you want about the first Mortal Kombat film. The guy who played him and the way he acted was pretty much what I expected from Kano. And I
Yeah.
was like, yep, that's, it's more of a caricature, sure, but that's kind of what I expected from Kano.
That's the Mortal Kombat, though.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So here I think that I don't know, I mean, there's something there. I don't know if I don't know if the actor playing Kano is producing this film as well, so he's got to have a bigger name. I don't know. I have no idea, but yeah, it's a little bit odd. It's a little bit odd,
I don't know.
and a little
Yeah.
bit worrisome, like you mentioned. I told
Yeah.
you, and I enjoyed the trailer, and I didn't want to be the only one kind of just putting it down. It's not that. It's just, it still felt like, oh, there's a lot of characters here, and with these type of films, you know what I mean? It's sure, you and I know the characters, but someone's gonna get left to the wayside, and you're gonna be like, oh, they didn't flesh that character. Oh, they left that character. They just give him this little bit. You're gonna feel like you did, with Cyborg and freaking Flash from Justice League originally. It was like,
Yeah.
there wasn't enough time to flesh these guys out in a 2-hour film, and they didn't get their own film. You know what I mean? So it's like, what are you going to do? So that's,
Yeah.
Again, they may still blow me away. Like it or not, there was a time that I actually liked the original Mortal Kombat film, even though in retrospect I realized no, wasn't really very good. You know what I mean? But I had my fun with it. But so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
My next piece, guys, Sony has announced that PlayStation has acquired the Evolution Fighting Games tournament.
Oh, speaking of fighting games.
Yes, revealed on the Sony Interactive Entertainment blog. It was stated that EVO will be the beginning of the next chapter for PlayStation's efforts in esports entertainment, which will work in partnership with Esports Ventures RTS. This reveal comes just ahead of EVO 2021, which will be an online-focused event starting on August 6th through the 8th, and then again on August 13th through the 15th. In the blog post, it was stated that EVO 2021 is still on track and will be an online event set for August. So far, the current lineup of games of the tournament includes Street Fighter V, Guilty Gear Strive, Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath. According to the blog post, more games will be announced soon, and those PlayStation is now under ownership of EVO. Whoa. Whoa, what the hell? And though PlayStation is now under ownership of EVO, that doesn't make sense.
PlayStation is under ownership of EVO?
Yeah.
That's the
opposite. And though EVO is under ownership of PlayStation, Mark Julio stated that the tournament is still open to all games from different platforms. They really messed up that freaking thing, which means that games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Classic Melee are open to be added to the list of games. Also, which is not mentioned here in the early part, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but also not mentioned here, a big part of the EVO is also Killer Instinct, which is, of course, an exclusive to Xbox. So chances are they'll all be back. I don't think that anything's there would be stupid to change anything.
Yeah, no, that will be absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited to hear this because it seems like we don't. These are like mega tournaments that we don't want to see go away, right?
For sure.
And having the backing of of a company that like Sony, like a major, exactly. It's a major player. It gives you assurance that they could continue, and I really hope so, and they could improve.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and it could be bigger. Exactly.
Yeah, it can be bigger. Exactly.
Because I can definitely get down. See, of all the esports stuff, I can get down with some fighting games. I can watch because it's so simple. It's like, okay, I get it. This person versus this one, they're fighting it out. It's the easiest esport to get into. You know what I mean? As opposed to some of this other stuff where you're like, I don't know who's who. I don't know who's where. They're switching back and forth too much. I'm like, who knows what's going on in this tournament? I have no idea who's who, what team is what. But at least you can tell this is always going to be, versus, and I like that. So this is of all the esports, this is probably the easiest one to really get attached to.
Yeah. Evil. They can make it bigger. Mm-hmm. You know what else I can make bigger? Nope. I know that's not sexual innuendo. I'm talking about Cyberpunk 2077 patch 1.2. Don't worry. This is the one that fixes it. This is the one that you can go ahead and you can start reinstalling it right now, so that when we're done, you're ready for that cyberpunking. Since cyberpunking, wow, that's something.
It's a verb.
That sounds delicious. Patch 1.2 will make fixes to police response, driving, and more. Remember, the police response on this game was
I remember.
Stellar. It was, they come out of thin air.
Yep. And if you turn around, they disappear that quickly too.
You experienced it. You saw it. You played it.
Yeah.
Developer CD Projekt Red announced new details on the second major update to Cyberpunk 2077 on Friday. Couch as an in-fiction news broadcast. According to the developer, the 1.2 update for Cyberpunk 2077 will address issues related to police response to players' action and add more nuance and control to driving and moving on foot. The patch does not have a release date. Aww. I thought it was released now. This is non-news. Players who commit crimes in Night City, either purposefully or not, may have noticed the unnerving speed to which Night City Police Department responds. Well, they have the technology. It's the future, right? I mean, I
Mhm.
would think they will respond fast. CD Projekt Red says it's aware of the situation and is making some adjustment to where and when the cops show up with guns blazing. Law enforcement should no longer appear directly behind the player and will take more time to respond in general. Uh, Beat cops will also be preceded by a flying drone and new additions to the game. Beat cops. Oh, beat cops will also be preceded by a flying drone and new additions to the game. There you go. Developers admit that driving has been a little twitchy since launch. You think so?
Just a little bit.
Especially on PC. Turns out the issue was complicated by the game's frame rate or lack thereof.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
All
yeah. Nice,
right.
nice.
When experiencing lower frame rates, our cars were headed were harder to control, CD Projekt Red said. We traced this to some code that wasn't handling extreme changes in frame rate properly. The steering speed is now very consistent from 20 to 60 frames per second. First of all, you don't you fucking dare call 20 frames per second anywhere but consistent. All right? All right?
That's a message to you, Xbox One. No, Xbox One S
Players,
players. Yeah,
yeah.
where it's like, hey guys, just so you guys, you're okay now. You're gonna have a
Yeah,
nice,
this is a very
steady
consistent
20 frames per
slideshow.
second. Yeah, exactly. You should be good. Don't worry about it. The car will stay on track.
Individual cars were also tweaked in detail, including the player's starting vehicle. CD Projekt Red also noted that cars would sometimes get hung up on the environment details, including curves and ball boards. Wow!
Yeah.
Polygon it's billboard. They put bollards. I thought that he said anyway, either billboards or bollocks. One of the two. The 1.2 update will add an unstuck feature that will allow players to unfuck themselves, to rock vehicles back and forth while holding down the accelerator. Oh wow! It's like in World of Warcraft. Whenever you got stuck in the environment, you used to have to like type slash slash on stick or stock or something or stock something like that,
Hmm.
and it will just transport you one time to like a random area of the world. And it's like, well, you're on stock. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere. You don't know where to go, what to do. But hey, at least you're not stopped now. Finally, players will now have more fine control over keyboard bindings related to simple movement. That includes a rework of the game's dodge action. You can find more details on their official blog post. Cyberpunk 2077, man. I can't wait for that game to go out to come out. I am excited. It seems
I
rocky. It seems rocky. The beta the beta that you buy did not look very well, but I have faith that that game could become something in like give it 5 years or 10.
Yes, what I'm going to need them to do is I'm going to need them to compress it because I'm not installing a 250 gigabyte game that they couldn't fucking figure out at the beginning.
Fix
So
that ish.
exactly. By the way, bollards they're like these little cylinder plastic, sometimes plastic, but sometimes not. They're like these. I'll send you a picture of it, but they're these little pegs that they look almost like a fence, but it's not a fence because it's just pegs around the street. So that's what bollards are. Just
Okay. I
so
didn't
they're a
know
real
that.
thing
I was
for the
like, what
record.
the
It
fuck
wasn't just
are you talking about?
not
Is
not
he
that not that Polygon
billboard?
isn't unknown for making typos, but anyway. Here's a typo that they have that turns out to probably be true.
Oh.
My last couple pieces are just some quick hits, guys. Gotham Knights has
Oh.
been delayed to 2022.
Oh, that one was looking all right. Maybe.
Who
I was
knows?
looking.
The antagonist of the game, of course, is Court of Owls, which I was actually kind of really sort of positively interested in. But who knows? Gotham Knights, the open world cooperative action game starring Red Hood, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Robin, but not Batman, won't make its scheduled 2021 release. Warner Brothers Interactive announced it is pushing the title to 2022, quote, saying, "We are giving the game more time to deliver the best possible experience for players." It's pretty much the same quote everybody says whenever that happens. Just FYI.
Yeah.
And a little news of the odd. You remember that there were specifically 10 games that were not going to be backwards
Oh
compatible with
yeah.
PlayStation 5, right?
The 10 bad
They were
games.
bad. They were like
They
just
were
there was
evil.
something about them. There was and they
Yeah.
were random. Like just like none of them were connected, not the same
Yeah.
publisher or developers. Like
No.
it's just these 10 games, guys, we cannot promise they're not going to work.
Bad
Well,
games.
that list, guys, has now been reduced to 9. Shadow Complex Remastered is now playable via backwards compatibility on PlayStation 5.
Finally.
Developer Chair Games has announced, according to the tweet, both the PlayStation 4 digital versions and the limited run games published physical edition of the game will now work on PlayStation 5. So congratulations, another game has been saved.
Yes.
And then finally, this is really more for me because I find it fascinating. The creative team that brought the show Justified to FX, one of my favorite shows, because I'm a confident man in my sexuality and all, but Raylan Givens, dude, that dude right
Really?
there, yeah, he's too cool for school, bro.
Hey,
Yeah, for sure.
romance, bro.
Yeah. So FX is making another show from the works of Elmore Leonard. Variety reported on Wednesday. This time around, the FX show will be based on the novel City Primeval, High Noon in Detroit. Variety also reports that Justified star Timothy Oliphant will reprise his role as Raylan Givens in the series. So, yeah, on the radar, my friend. On the radar.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we had a good string of news here. It
Did
had
we?
felt good. It felt. I mean,
I felt there was a little scraping of a barrel there. Maybe towards the end.
Okay, well, yeah, here. Let me just end up on a shit note. Activision Blizzard. That's it. There you go. That's my news. Activision Blizzard. I
Yep.
said it all.
They are shitty.
Activision Blizzard CEO. Oh, I'm already making it worse.
Yep.
To get an even bigger bonuses while others get laid off. Because that's what the shit-eating bastard, running Activision does. Because he doesn't give a shit. Activision Blizzard's CEO Bobby Kotick, also known as Satan, routinely gets millions in stock bonuses every year based on how the company is doing. Now he's set to get even more, for a total payout of nearly 200 million, according to CTW, whatever the hell that is, investment group, a union pension fund advocacy association. Oh, there you go. Now you know. And it's all thanks to a clause in his contract that was recently triggered by the company's strong stock performance throughout the pandemic. As the Call of Duty maker's CEO Kotick gets bonuses based on helping the company hit profit targets and other milestones. And because of 2020 saw Activision Blizzard stock price jump dramatically as millions turned to games to distract themselves during the pandemic, he's on track to collect all of the 3 incentive bonuses he missed in recent years, in addition to the tens of millions he already earns annually due to a shareholder value creation incentive that he probably fucking just made up.
Yeah.
In March of 2016, the company's stock price was around $32. By last March, it had climbed to 56, and in the years since the pandemic began, it only climbed higher, peaking at over $100 at one point last month before settling back down to just under $92. Because the stock has remained over double what it was when Kotick 2016 employment agreement went into effect for over 90 days. The shareholder value creation incentive bullshit provision was triggered earlier this month. On March 1st of 2021, the performance conditions for the 4-year performance period. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. All right. Uh, while the while the increase in Activision stock price is somewhat commendable, as we stated last year, and continue to assert this achievement alone does not justify such a substantial pay outcome for the CEO. The CTW Investment Group researcher Michael Varner said in a statement. In a phone call with Kotaku, Varner called a maximum level payout the C the C-suit equivalent of running a 6-minute mile, and said Activision Blizzard is basically retroactively awarding Kotick gold medals for his past performance based on his latest stock price. Yada 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 yada. The company laid off roughly 800 people in early 2019, followed by hundreds more in the subsequent months. With the closing of its French office, and just yesterday it confirmed that somewhere between 50 and 190 more people will be let go, including its esport division, which has struggled over the last year during the ban of in-person events. Da 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 da. He's a jerk. Back
Pretty
to
much.
you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the company. I mean, I guess it's easy to hit targets where you exploit your employees and then let them go, and you don't have to pay them anymore, and bullshit like that. It's like, man, this game is this. If you still think that Activision is a game company that gives a shit about gamers just because you are enjoying the Call of Duties and stuff like that, which, hey, I'm not gonna pan. The Call of Duty games are awesome, and it has its player base and all that, but it's like and of course you got the Blizzard section making its game and all that, but man, talk about, it's like the most passionless, like, just just machine out there, and I get it, they're obviously making that money because at the end of the day it's the same old why, but you don't like I mean, you hear, say what you will about the likes of like Ubisoft and Square Enix, but at least you can tell that the creators and the people, they have a certain passion, even when Square says ridiculous things like, "Oh, we expected this to be 6 million. Oh, we're gonna release Final Fantasy, a battle royale of Final Fantasy because battle royale is the thing yesterday, and all crap like that." But I feel like those care about their games and the library more than
I agree.
Activision. Because Activision, what are they doing? What is there new from Activision? I mean, you got.
The Crash Bandicoot stuff, and you got your normal Call of
Crash
Duty.
Bandicoot was that one thing. I'm talking about like new IP that they bring to the table, that something exciting. To they don't even
Honestly,
have like
the last one was, and I know most people forget about this, but believe it or not, the last one was Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Was that Activision?
That was an Activision game. Yes, it was.
All right. No, I am impressed with Breast.
I mean, don't get me wrong; they're still shit. It doesn't change anything. But
Sekiro, okay, so they have one IP. Okay, gotcha. And it came out. Okay, all right. Well,
it was supposed to be. I remember it because it was supposed to be a Tenchu remake, and they got From Software. And before technically, to me personally, it still feels like a Tenchu remake. It feels like an evolution of Tenchu, but at the same time, that's
also there. Who made that game?
From
was
Software.
It Activision, or was it? Oh, was From Software?
From Software published.
So it was published by Activision.
Yeah.
Then fuck that. They publish. They get big deal.
They are publishers, dude. That's all they do. They don't. Their teams create. They publish.
Activision. They could have actually. Well, Activision Blizzard. They have Blizzard. And Blizzard is. Man, whatever.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say Blizzard is his own problem at this point. Oh my god! All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of the news segment. Stay by with us. Stand by. Stay by. What the hell does that mean? Stay stand
with us in unity as we fight against the forces of the Kotick.
Yes.
And promise you we'll be back with our hot topic.
With our hot topic. In 2 years, I'm seriously going to be pissed off because I'm going to be paying for that shit. But
no, by that time, you're going to be like, PlayStation 5 Pro? Nah, fuck that. I'm just going to jump on PC. On PC, I don't have to upgrade. Oh, wait.
Now we're definitely talking crazy. I'm just saying. Now we've
little by little, we take it, we pull you into the dark side.
We have no. The problem with the dark side is that I cannot thrive in the dark side, because the moment I run into an issue where it's like, why is it asking for this? I don't know what this is, and it's just like, and yeah, sure, I get it. You can always look it up. You can find answers online. I get that. I don't want that though. I just want it to work.
I just
want it to work.
I want a turnkey solution.
If it doesn't work, then it's broken. That's my my thesis. If it doesn't work, then it's broken. It's just that simple. That's just how
what
that
if
works.
we can run it faster and better
I don't care. I have never cared.
You don't care. If you would have cared, you wouldn't have bought the PS5, because you would have been like, PS4 is fine. I can play Spider-Man here.
It was fine until Cyberpunk came along and decided to just like kick the shit around and make it look like it was basically an Atari. I mean, at that point, this is basically the 2600, isn't it? So.
Damn.
Yeah.
I guess you're right, because you never updated to the Pro.
I did not.
No,
not that mattered, because the Pro wasn't exactly running that game spectacularly.
No.
You know what I mean?
Particularly no.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, guys, if you haven't heard, we are back, and it is now time for the hot topic of the week.
Hot
topic again, guys, is regarding Microsoft, and it's about all the massive moves that they have done that are, well, as someone who does not own a Microsoft product other than perhaps this PC that I have here.
Windows 10.
This laptop. Yeah, Windows 10.
Cortana.
And, of course, Excel and, Quicken and, all the other bullshit programs that nobody cares about. Other than those, Skype, other than those, I'm not really into that particular, ecosystem. But I will say that, I think we can definitely say that they're making the right moves. Looking over specifically, right now they have, I want to say it's 25, but it's about 25, somewhere around 25 studios. And they have, potential. I think that's the main thing about this Microsoft right now is like, we don't know what they have, but their potential is so high. Right? Yes. When you look at the fact that, okay, so they have the biggest acquisition is ZeniMax, right? They got Bethesda Studios. They have idTech, and I think idTech alone is one of the big. You don't really think about it. It's like, I didn't think about that until you sit and think about it, and you go, "Ooh, that's a very desirable, piece of tech
engine."
Engine, and they own it, and think of all the things you can create that are within idTech or what they can use to improve what they already have. So, what do you think overall? I know this was a major news piece last week when they finally closed on the deal they had going with Bethesda, and so it's official. And it's hard to say if Philly Spencer is or Spencer. What's his name? Spencer? Phil Spencer. Philly Spencer. Yeah. I'm going to call him Philly Spencer because
I like Philly Spencer. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So Philly Spencer, he was a little bit, he wasn't like 100% on it. He was half and half. He was like, well, you're going to have exclusives, but prior deals are going to be there, and all this stuff. And, first off, what do you think those prior deals are? Specifically, what do you think he means by that? Because obviously we know the obvious, right? We have Ghostwire Tokyo. We have the other, oh God, what's the other one that's coming out that 70s looking?
We always forget it's Loop Deadloop.
Deathloop, yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
Deathloop, which are apparently they are exclusive, but like Deathloop is supposed to be an exclusive.
Right.
And so yeah.
I think it's a time exclusive, actually. I think it's because I remember seeing that trailer, or I'm not gonna say I remember because I always remember shit wrong. I I believe that I saw somewhere, and I might have posted it, where in very tiny letters it said it was time exclusive. But please double check that. I might be
I'll have to look it
misremembering.
up. Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so, uh, so no, yeah. I think obviously there are still uh game game services that are on Sony's console that they need to provide support, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you got the Elder Scrolls Online,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean they're not gonna pull back, obviously. They
Yeah.
got Fallout 76 for better or worse. It's still it's still a game
I've
that
heard
people play.
recently that game has made a little bit of a turnaround. I haven't looked, and I don't care to look, but just to say, Fallout 76,
I can see it.
while it was a disaster when it came out,
Yeah.
little by little is making a turnaround. So go ahead.
Yeah, the problem with that game is that nobody's talking about it. So
Correct. Yeah.
even if people are like, it's not like the No Man's Sky where everybody's like, you know what, this is getting better. Oh, you know what, this is
Yeah,
getting
but
better.
nobody
Oh,
talks
now it's
about
good.
Rainbow Six Siege. Nobody talks about For Honor, and yet they have their community.
It's community because those games were not heaping trash garbage cans
When they came out.
when they
True,
came
true.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true.
So I think the world has written up Fallout 76 except for its fans and their fans. They could try to be vocal, but they're still a very minority group, and uh, no, you don't hear a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but obviously, those deals, they honor, right? They could also have put a potential IP that they haven't announced yet. That I mean, we don't, or they might have not announced publicly, but maybe was already contractually developed to be contractually being developed for Sony. We don't know about that. That could be what they mean by, hey, we still have contractual agreements. We're gonna be supporting still
Mm-hmm.
because I mean they have no choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
There's a
they probably
contract.
do.
Yeah.
It'll be like, hey, let us break this contract lease thingy, and we'll pay you, whatever, whatever. But they don't have any incentive to do that.
And neither
So
does whoever the contract holder is, because they're like, well,
right.
breaking the contract, you give us money, but the IP is more important. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, and also like, but they don't have any incentive to do that because at the end of the day, it's all about making the money, and
Mm-hmm.
the Microsoft only benefits from that, right?
Yeah.
So it is it was weird to hear. It was weird, but not unexpected to hear Phil Spencer say, you know, finally give the answer of no, actually the new games are Xbox games,
Mm-hmm.
rather than have it in the dark, because we all thought, well, with all these movements that Microsoft is doing with Game Pass and all these things, and the rumors about them talking even with Nintendo at some point.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was a rumor.
all those things could make you think like, well, obviously they just care about the money side of it. So at the end of the day, yes, it's a branding thing because the Xbox brand is important to Microsoft, uh, and and they are but the bottom line is, hey, can we polish these games and we can sell them anywhere? We're gonna that's revenue that comes to us, even though that will be at the expense of diminishing the brand. So I think they saw the opportunity to jumpstart, to not to maintain that brand, in a way, and show people that, oh, people thought that Microsoft was going dormant, that the Xbox was just being, playing, second fiddle to the all the amazing things that Sony has been doing with their. Because let's be real, all the first party game, or 90% of the party games, of the first party games that Sony has released have been nothing short of stellar. You know, that you can't even say. There might be an exception here or there, and the most that you could say is, well, that's a 7. But then you got Spider-Man, you got Ghost of Tsushima, you got all those games that came out before for the console, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft looked at that, and I mean, obviously they were getting pummeled. They were looking for a quick solution, the fastest solution, because it's hard to put a team together, right? Right? Put the developing teams, right? That's just gonna take them forever. And yes, they did some acquisitions. Because remember, before Cinemax, they did a bunch of acquisition, a bunch of Obsidian got there, and Double Fine, and a bunch of others, right? Remember that?
They have a bunch. Double
Yeah.
Fine, Compulsion,
Yeah.
Ninja Theory,
Ninja Theory was another one.
Obsidian,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, the Initiative. There's a couple other ones. I
So
can't
so they're
remember.
basically trying to say that, oh no shit, you know what, we can also have our powerhouse, defense game farm, if you will, that could compete against against Sony. And they just saw an opportunity there with Cinemax. And I mean, that was something that I think that was the first move. Even with the previous acquisitions, I feel like Sony had nothing to worry about, absolutely nothing. They didn't even have to look that way, because they're still banging. They're still amazing. I feel like this is the first, salvo, or shutting the power, or something that demonstrates that wakes Sony up. It's like, oh shit, well, turns out we can't just sleep in our lauders. I mean, look at them. They have fucking Doom, and they have
Mm-hmm.
the Elder Scrolls, and I mean, they bought a legacy, a legacy team, of companies.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and at that
Although
point, yeah.
I was gonna say, although I would say, I guess maybe for me, when I first said, "Ooh," when I first took back, and it was the Obsidian purchase, and then the second time would be
Ninja
Double Fine,
Theory.
and that's only because
Yeah.
I don't get it. Double Fine's not a huge company or anything like that, but I like a lot of stuff what they do, and I love a lot of the games that they've made. So even though they're not always for me, they're just within my wheelhouse, and I kind of
Yeah.
dig that. And Obsidian's another one where it's like, okay, so those two were the originals. Like, okay, I was a little upset about Ninja Theory. It's like, damn, I kind of want to have another, whatever. The rest of them, I was like, I don't know. Some of them are
Hmm.
very new. But those two kind of make me step back. But yeah, with the acquisition of ZeniMax, uh, probably the main one that sticks out for me is Arcane. I like Arcane.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I
I
mean,
mean,
well,
it's
when I think about the Dishonored series, I really
right, right,
enjoy the Dishonored series.
right.
And so I was like, man, that's gonna be, if they were ever to do a new one, I'd be kind of, my eyes and ears would be open, like, okay, talk to me. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
Bethesda Studios itself, no. I liked the last Fallout 4.
Uh,
If I didn't play the last Fallout 4, I don't know if I would have been. I don't know if I would have
I mean, we
felt like I
all
missed anything. You know what I mean?
we all got excited about seeing that about that Fallout 76 trailer the first time.
We did.
And
Don't you
because obviously, because
worry.
we like, we like the idea of more Fallout. I think we both enjoy Fallout 3 and Fallout 4.
I love
So,
Fallout 3.
and when you consider them being responsible also for the Elder Scrolls, the Elder Scrolls is
I haven't
kind of
played
a
any of those
huge
scroll
thing,
games. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right,
I have
right.
no
So
connection to it. Yeah.
if anything, because I'm looking, and I'm with you. I know that Arcane is great, but I think the major the major part of this acquisition, or the big win, if you will, of this acquisition is like securing ID tech, obviously, and Bethesda software. Even with fucking failed of Fallout, 76 notwithstanding, they still have projects that could potentially be, kind of amazing, like
No, and they
Skyrim
will
was,
be.
and like
They will be
yeah,
amazing because if there's one thing, Bethesda software or Softworks, whatever they are, yeah,
software,
they
yeah,
they have a good staple of IP that people
yeah.
love, and there's no doubt about it. I don't have any personally. I don't have any connection to the Elder Scrolls.
Mhm.
The one I was about to get into was Skyrim, and that they shot the bed with that when it came out on PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
But
they did.
other than that, I have Fallout, and I enjoy Fallout. I really love
Hmm.
Fallout 3. I
Hmm.
really liked Fallout 4. But it wasn't without it wasn't without its issues.
No, it
So
was.
to me personally, like if Fallout 5 is an Xbox exclusive,
It won't appear like
it
it was.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be to me. Like now, let me tell you, I will say one thing. It Granted, they're going to show off the best of it because exactly what they did with Fallout 4 and Fallout 76,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we all saw what the eventual product was. So if the
Hmm.
game comes out and it is significantly a huge, like, oh man, they redid the engine and God, you know what I mean, everything looks
Hmm.
whatever, maybe then. But overall, I don't think I'll be missing much. On the other hand, with it, no Doom, with Machine Games, no
Or Wolfenstein,
possible,
or whatever the
Wolfenstein.
next IP is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, so those kind of like, I kind of see those being really good. And it's a shame that we're not going to probably partake of any of that stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, I get it. I get it that most people would lean towards Bethesda Studio because of that.
And they have more. They have others. We're not mentioning it right now, but they definitely have other studios that they have done other games
Yeah, like
that
Tango
also.
GameWorks. Tango GameWorks is
There you
doing the
go.
Ghostwire, but it's also they did what is that horror game? Dear Lord, what's so horrible with this? By the way, to answer
Uh,
your question from earlier,
uh
yes, they are timed. Both Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo are timed exclusives.
Gotcha. Okay,
Uh,
yeah. I think I saw it somewhere, and because I think I posted it because it was like on the trailer. The trailer came out, and then a very tiny small print, and I just blew up that small print and posted it. It's like, actually, I kind of want that game to be good just because it looks so groovy and nuts. I just I
Deathloop,
just don't know.
yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really, really does. Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
hold I'm gonna hold a full review still, but man, that looks.
agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
The Evil Within is the game I was thinking
The
about.
evil within. Oh, I had it on the tip of my tongue. I swear. I swear. I was gonna say, yeah, yeah. I was thinking
So
of
yeah.
Resident Evil. And it's like, no, obviously it's not Resident Evil. No, it's the evil. It's something yeah, the evil within.
It was the Resident Evil creator, original creator
There
Shinji
you go.
Mikami. Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
So that's
There you go.
why, yeah. So, but yeah. So overall, I mean, I think having these studios, like I said, right now there isn't much. Right
Hmm.
now, so you have Game Pass, and which Game Pass is great. There's no denying that service is great.
Yeah.
Um, I still say that service is probably they're either breaking even or maybe even costing them money. Not that they can't afford it; they definitely can afford it, but I still think it may be costing them money just from the way those type of services generally work. And I can bring up some examples in a little bit, but so they have that, and that's great. But I think we can agree that while that service is great, when you look at the staple of Sony first party versus what you can get on Game Pass, a small sample of first party Sony games still can be superior to the best game that may be available on Game Pass. Or maybe not the best game, but a few of the best games, right? Because they're going to have a lot of the top ones like Gears and stuff like that. But newer stuff, there really hasn't been much from that particular, from them. I mean, just look at the last couple of years; there really hasn't been much. So the Game Pass, I think, is great. But would you agree, or do you even think that they are breaking even or maybe even not making money off of that, because the appearance is that maybe, I mean, they are making money. The company
They,
itself is making money for sure, but I don't know if Game Pass is the seller of, or the one that's contributing to said money.
they
What do you
they
think?
they they have actually, and that's, that's the part where we disagree, that they have actually have brought up the fact that, and I think I might have actually brought it at some point that that we were wondering also, and I had to bring an article, and I don't remember when it was, but the fact that Game Pass has been incredibly successful for them, that of course now they are trying to raise the price. With that's not a secret, that they are trying to raise the price is because, okay, it can only become so sustainable to one point. At some point, you're gonna have to do the Netflix thing, right? Where Netflix give you more and more and more. Like, let's not let's not kid ourselves. Game Pass has been giving us more and more and more. You have been they have been growing the amount of games that you get. They have to spend some money to get those licenses, I'm sure. Plus, they're
But
offering now
in
with
that alone,
EA.
oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna.
with the thing with EA, so we know that yes, that they are. So they are making the investment. They're making the investment, and if they're making the investment, that could only mean that they're getting, well, not necessarily only can mean, but that usually is an indicator of a healthy growth. You know, because I say usually because they have
Usually,
been,
yeah, yeah, but not
yeah, that
always.
not
Particularly when it
always,
comes to services like this,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
that's I think where the main concern is, that I don't know if, like, this type of, lowballing. So first off, I just want to say the fact that, there was a release of them basically doubling. I think it was doubling the how much Game Pass service was going to come out to be for the year, something like some weird shit
yeah,
where it became this thing, and people are like, oh, and then they just took it away.
yeah.
I don't think that was an accident. I think that was on the
No,
table.
that
You know what
wouldn't
I'm
have been
saying?
an accident. Yeah,
Yeah, so it was on the
yeah,
table because the reality is it's costing them money. Now, Microsoft as a whole is making buttloads of money. There's no doubt about that. No one's saying that that's not the case. There are articles out there that even say net profit, right? They can probably have bought ZeniMax twice, right? We've seen that
hmm,
article. I think we both seen that article. It's like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, net profit they have, but that doesn't mean the net profit's coming from this
Just
service.
right,
You
right.
know what I mean? So you mentioned Netflix. Netflix has been operating at a loss for the longest time. How are they still afloat? I've recently found out it's like, yeah, they've been borrowing upwards of billions of dollars to keep that service going. Has it worked for them? Hell yes, it has. They're still here. No one that I know is letting go of the Netflix service. New
Right.
services come in, they go, okay, maybe,
And
but
at
no,
some
I'm not
point they're
letting go
gonna
of Netflix.
raise it. And at some point they're gonna raise it. And guess what?
And
People are
you will
gonna
buy it.
stay.
Yeah, they're not
People,
moving up.
people are gonna are gonna stay. So these are long term investments, right? The same thing
Correct. Yeah, yeah,
with
I
YouTube.
agree.
YouTube didn't make money for the longest time to Google. As a matter of fact, the joke was like, okay, what is Google doing with YouTube? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, is that another
Uh,
one that gets phased out?
exactly, YouTube of all the places, yeah. So they know that, they know that that this they need to grow it, so they need to spend the money, and they have. And you see deals like this with the thing with EA being one of them, with the fact that they're already saying that, oh, they're not done making acquisitions. And I think I saw one other article at some point that this was not the last big acquisition that they were considering,
Yes, I
but
heard that one. Yeah.
yeah. So you could tell that they're hungry. They want to maintain that brand, and they're definitely doing uh the right moves now. Whereas, let's put it this way: if, like Netflix, they get me at $5, and I'm enjoying their service, and I have this plethora of games, and then they say, oh, next time, next year it's just gonna be double. I'm gonna be pissed off, Yes, but they got me already. They got me already. I have a bunch of games that they're going. I have. They got their exclusives and all the
That's where the
things.
difference is. Yes, exactly.
And
Right now, I think you would agree that. Do you have Game Pass? First
I
off, do
do
you have?
have Game Pass.
Okay,
Yes, I do have. I have Game Pass Ultimate. Oh, whatever is the one that for
yeah,
PC.
Game
Yeah.
Pass Ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you agree that right now, if you were to let the service go, it wouldn't be that big of a loss because while they do have a
Mhm.
library of games, nothing that's really calling your attention at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
However,
I, I will agree with that. Yeah.
yeah,
Then again, I do buy a lot of my games, but
yeah,
yes, I
sure.
will agree that there's nothing there that I
There
will
will be
say
no
like
yeah, there'll be no loss at the moment.
Michael. Well, flight simulator. That's the only exception. Because if I had to buy flight simulator, it's gonna cost me $100.
Okay,
So
fair enough, fair
so
enough.
that will be that'll be the one. Yeah. But I'm
Okay,
paying
well,
them ten times
that's
over
one.
if I keep giving them money. I'm gonna end up paying them
I was
that
gonna
and
say,
then
yeah,
some for it.
true,
But at the same time, I'm playing a lot of other games that are coming out
true.
that are new, and I don't have to pay a penny for it because
So
I'm already giving them money.
if we fast forward, maybe let's say 3 years, we'll give
Uh-huh.
it the length of a general of a game's normal development cycle, which is 3 years. In
Mm.
3 years, at that point, we should start seeing the fruit of a lot of the companies that they've acquired because they
Mm.
acquired them a couple years ago. So at that point, we should already be well into them and probably be seeing or at least getting announcements of some of the new Bethesda stuff that are not tied to any prior contracts.
Yeah.
At that point, I can definitely see saying, okay, Game Pass now has gone from being, well, I can pay for it, but it's not really something I need to carry, to becoming, well, shit, now we have
It's
a
essential for a gamer.
yeah, it becomes this thing where you're like, oh, suddenly this is where you want to be. Sure, Sony's going to have their things, and because it's on their side, and frankly, you're probably going to be interested anyway. Maybe not. But the reality is, you're going to get more bang for your buck out of Game Pass from all the new
Hmm.
games coming in. Now, obviously, the first party stuff is it's first party stuff. So we don't know. We really don't know what it's the long game is really what it is. At some point, they're going
Yeah,
to.
this
Right
is the
now,
beginning.
they're at, I don't know how many subscribers, somewhere 10 to 15 million or something like that. So right now it's smaller and it's probably costing them more to have this service as opposed to what they're making from said service. But they have other things that are making the money to make up for that and then some. But I think at that point, 3 years from now, 2024, we're going to enter 2024 in January looking at a very, very, very different Microsoft. And it's really going to be more, I think, at that point about why aren't you on Game Pass? Like, you can say that
Mm.
now, but you can also argue against it, going, well, yeah, sure, you got a few games, but is it really worth another service
Yeah.
on top of all the other services I already pay for? Is it really worth
Hmm.
that service? You know what I mean? I think in 3 years it's going to be. I don't need Netflix anymore. I just want Game Pass. You know what I mean? Because that's really all I need. And I think that's their future at this. I think that's the future they're banking on. Obviously, it would probably require some sort of really bad bungling of business in order for them to really screw it up between now and then. But as of
Mm.
right now, with the developers that they hold
Mm.
and the IP, if you really think about the IP that they now own, yeah, I think their future is overall pretty bright, and I think that should worry uh, its competitors.
That should wake that should wake the giant up, right? Make sure that they're not falling asleep on their first place, like it happened to the like it very well happened to Microsoft. That was the thing that tumbled Microsoft 360 era.
Hmm.
They went to the top very fast, and then they were like, okay, well, I guess we're complacent. And by the end of the era, it's like Sony was knocking at the door, like, hello, neighbor,
Yeah.
and then PlayStation 4 happened, and goodbye, neighbor,
Yeah.
see you on the other
There you
side,
go.
and that was the big problem. Now, I feel like yes, I'm not gonna hear, and also because I don't like to be fanboyish, right?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna overestimate the Sony's catalog, because yes, Sony's catalog, it's super
Right now.
strong
Yeah. Right
right
now it is.
now.
Mhm.
Also, it has been released,
Correct. We
right
don't know
now.
what else is. We
Right
don't know what
now,
else is coming.
they're very tight-lipped about what's coming in. We don't have, we can trust, right? We can only trust, and they have a very good track record. So I'm not worried. I'm not saying that I should be worried about that. Not necessarily. What I'm saying is that catalog, it's out there, and is a finite number, of games that are incredible. I'm glad that they're giving some of them away for free. You get a lot of great deals on PS Plus, where you get them also.
Dear Lord,
Some
all
heavy
the
hitters
time.
you still
Yeah.
have to, yeah.
Hmm.
Some heavy hitters you still have to pay the MSRP, right? The normal price, of the game, and very deservedly so, because they're great games.
Hmm.
Um, you look at an offering like Game Pass, and yeah, compared to Sony, their first party selection, it's like it doesn't compare. You know, Sony has what Microsoft. I couldn't make it work.
Good
I
try, though.
couldn't.
Good try.
Thank you, thank you. Right now, on the first party front, all we have is promises. All we have is that this the thing that's coming in the future. But right now, their first party selection is paltry. Let's not forget that Game Pass is not just about the first party selection. Game Pass has games from third parties, and it has a game from other publishers, and an alliance with a strong publisher, whether we like it or not. The publisher is that's another thing,
Yeah. EA.
but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is,
Absolutely.
it is EA, and it is all that, and it's something that you get to pay. Right now is what, $10, or
$10
15 for the
until they
ultimate, or
until they move it. Yeah.
15 for the ultimate until they move it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fine. That's fine. But right now it's $15. So we're talking about, well, right now they they don't, like it's paltry. Yeah, not so much. They might not have the names, that the actual IPs, but and honestly, I will argue the quality even. They have the quantity. They
Yeah.
definitely have the quantity. And
Yeah.
when you think about the regular gamer that is not looking to, they just care about playing games, and not necessarily looking, the nuanced news, or of, who has what IP at X or Y. I think there is a very compelling reason to jump now into Game Pass. You'll be, if you have first of all, if you own an Xbox, it'll be stupid not to put that a
Seriously,
lot
you
together with
literally
with
wasted
it.
your money on the
You
Xbox if you did not
if you
subscribe.
don't have Game Pass, you have Xbox, and you don't have Game Pass. Like, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah. It's. Yeah,
Unless
I
you're
agree.
not really a gamer.
Or if you can't
And I
afford
get it.
it, you can
Or if you
afford the
can
console,
afford
but
it,
you can't
right?
afford the monthly charge. Okay,
Right,
that's
right,
fair.
right,
That's
right.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm saying, if you're capable, able to afford it, it'll be silly not to. I don't own an Xbox. I have a PC. I pay for Xbox, because even though right now I'm not playing, um, I'm not playing anything that I can say. Well, other than Microsoft Flight Simulator, I do play that. But I'm not playing like an Xbox exclusive title, until I mean, I was playing Gears of War, the tactics the other day, but I'm about to coming April 1st or next month. I'll be playing Outriders
Hmm.
without putting a single extra penny other than what I give Microsoft already. And that's a game that, hey, I didn't even know that I was gonna have the opportunity to have a to play it for free, and it turns out that I can. And there is just like that. There is a bunch of other titles that if I go in and start looking, I'm gonna find that, hey, I haven't played this game and it is available. I can just play it. I don't need to worry about pay. I don't need to worry about it being available on on Xbox Play with Gold or whatever they call it.
Hmm.
Uh, because Game Pass has it, and that's the value. It might not have the AAA golden things, but it does have the quantity to keep you very well entertained. Even if it's a title that was just not released right now, like you can still grab and play Forza Horizon 4. You know,
Oh,
the
even
best selling
better. Yeah,
still game.
even better. Although that, not to say this is better, but for someone like myself who you know me, I live in the indie market. You know what I mean? Just perusing the library, recently added games include Empire of Sin, which
Hmm.
was on my list for the longest time, and I'm like, that's a like a 20s gangster thing, but
Uh-huh.
in the XCOM type of turn based strategy. You
Yeah.
have which is to me pretty freaking awesome. For the record, I've
Yeah.
always wanted to give that one a shot. But you also have Tetris Effect Connected, Spirit Farer, Wasteland 3, Carrion. You know what I'm saying? These games are
Yeah.
all available on Xbox Game Pass, which I
I play, dude.
played most of those and paid for them separately. You know what I mean?
I can drop down right now. And you remember you told me, oh, you need to play a Plague Tale,
A Plague Tale.
Innocent.
Yeah.
You need to play that, dude. I can literally at a click right now. I can download that and play. I can play the brand new Dragon Quest 11, the redone version. They brought in Near Automata to
Hmm.
the PC, the fixed version. Evidently, that's they fixed it on Game Pass, and people in everybody's very upset. The fact that the actual normal version, the actual real version, is now only on Game Pass. And not to mention the ones that you might have already played, like Doom Eternal, or if you didn't play Doom Eternal because you didn't purchase it. Oh, guess what? Now you get available.
Now you
You
have it.
have that
Yep.
available. And all the Bethesda catalog and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
so what I'm going to say is that yes, Sony has the titles that I want to play right now, and they have already been released. And I probably own all of the ones that I want to play, that I wanted to play. Honestly, I have them in Game Pass. There are still games there that, even though I wouldn't necessarily put them at the same caliber, even though I will argue that some of them are. It's just that they're more niche. They're not the type of game that the quality. What I'm trying to say is that the quality is there, but because of the type of game it is very niche. Like a fucking what was that game? Crusaders Kings.
Yeah.
That game is nuanced as fuck,
Yeah. It's
and
on different.
it is amazing. It was extremely detailed and a bunch of things, but it's a different type of experience. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that if you care about that experience, you're not gonna mind. Just jump in. You yourself, Mad Dog, like you at some point you should consider, or you have actually considered. You said that is in your plan, getting the Xbox Series S with Game Pass, because
Yeah.
that suddenly opens up
That's my Game Pass machine.
a
Yep.
new, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All and you'll have all these titles that you just didn't have access to, and also you can, and now you don't even have to worry about, quote unquote, losing access to, I don't know, Doom 4 or whatever they call it, or the next, whatever, because it's not about it's not about the Sony side, on the Xbox side. It's about the entertainment portion of it.
Yeah.
And why limit
The
yourself?
gamer side. It's
The
about the
gamer
gamer
side.
side. Yeah, and you're right. It's exactly what it is, which is why I've literally toyed with getting an Xbox for a while. I told you, if it wasn't for the red ring, I'd own one, but I never got around to it. And
then there was no reason.
And then I was going to say, there was literally no reason, and we had
literally
an entire
no reason.
Recent generation an entire generation. And yes, I'm sure Gears 5 and all that was other. Yeah, I don't have a connection to that series. So there was an entire generation of nothing there that I need to worry about or need to really be interested in. But now the potential, and I think that's we come back to that word, was that the potential is enormous at this point. And it is something that their competitors need to think. But it's not even about that. When it comes to us as a gamer, it doesn't matter. Let them compete all they want. We get to choose.
We reap the benefits of that.
Exactly. We get to choose where all that stuff is and what we do. And yeah, that's still my plan, to get an Xbox One S, which is still a very powerful system and enough to run Game Pass, as far as I'm concerned. And if I need to update to an Xbox One X, a Series X at some point, because
when they lower the price, inevitably,
when they lower the price, or because the console is like, the S isn't really running this as well, okay, it's time to trade that bad boy in and move on. You know what I'm saying? Move on to the next thing. It's like, that's where it comes down to. It comes down to where the games are at. And the reason I've held on to PlayStation side for so long really is that's where the games are at.
That's what the games were. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right now it still is, you know what I mean? But it won't always be. It's the reason why I still own a Switch, because occasionally Switch releases a great game, or Nintendo, I should say. Nintendo releases a great game and I want to buy into it. I skipped Wii U, but guess what? A lot of those Wii U titles made it over the Switch, and now the Switch library looks good.
Yeah.
So I have a Switch. You know what I mean?
You played the definitive version.
The definitive edition of all those games.
That's right.
So that's really what it comes down to. And I think for, in essence, to sort of close here, but in essence, I think that the future for Microsoft, if they can keep this trajectory that they're going and hold on, because again, I know they're making money overall, but they're making money overall, which is why they can hold on. If it was any other company to take a loss like that, again, I'm positive that the Game Pass is performing at a loss. If you really think about all the games that they're doing, that they're having to pay development for, they are only charging $10 a month for those. Then the deals with EA Play, which they have to pay for. And then the other deals that they have with Square Enix, because Outriders is coming to the service, so they have to have provided some sort of money that Square Enix would normally see, you know what I mean, from a regular sale of the game, you know what I mean. So they have to provide something like that. When you see all these things that are playing in the background, it's like, I think that at minimum they're breaking even, maybe making a little, you know what I mean. But I don't think they just when you look at Netflix, that literally this year they just announced that they're no longer having to borrow money. That was January of this year. And how long has Netflix been around? Disney is another one who just came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. They've already said that they're not even expecting to start earning revenue to 2024.
But you know why is that? You know very well why Netflix haven't been really, like, they could have actually. I totally believe they could have actually made. Well, I don't have to say I believe. I have. This has been actually argued already on the MSNBCs and stuff like that for the financial world. The reason why Netflix was operating at a loss is because they were getting the revenue they were getting, and they were reinvesting it on more and more because that's how they kept it growing. So in other words, they didn't stay dormant. They didn't say, correct, let's just stay. We're the top. Let's just stay here.
Which is exactly what Microsoft was doing.
You will want them to do that because
exactly.
we win.
Yeah, exactly. And that is exactly what Microsoft
gamers
is doing in this. They're re-upping every time they have something new. It's like, okay, now you said, you even mentioned it. There's talks about another major acquisition. It's like, okay, well, when that major acquisition comes around, it's because they already made back the money in profit from the purchase of ZeniMax, and well, we made it back and then some, and we can buy something else now. You know what I mean? It's like, it's about stacking the cards on your side so that you have all the entertainment, or at least the majority of it. And we'll make it so that everybody has to, you are the new Netflix. Everyone has Netflix. Everyone. Some people have Netflix and Disney Plus. Some people have Netflix and Hulu. Some people have Netflix and HBO Max. Some idiots like myself have all of those that I just mentioned.
All of the above.
All of the above. But guess what? Netflix is the consistent one. And that is what Microsoft is trying to do. They're trying to be the consistent service that you pay for all the time.
Yeah.
And with
that acquisition, it's like they said, not to be confused. This is for Xbox. Like they put it. This is. Yeah,
it makes sense. It only makes sense. Yeah.
I think the future is bright.
I think so too. And you know what I think is brighter for? Us, the gamer.
Oh yeah. I mean, I gotta wear shades.
Yeah, I do too.
How bright is the future?
It's that bright that we have to wear shades. Do you remember that song? I love that song. I remember that song from Sidebar here, but we're finishing up. But I just feel like I need to mention this. There was this movie, 80s movie, of course, 80s movie. My Best Friend's a Vampire. You ever seen that movie?
Oh God, no, but I've heard about it.
Oh my God, and that song plays in there. That my future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. And of course he's wearing fucking shades at this point. He's spray painting his window because to make it dim and shit like that. His bed. It was a 80s comedy. It wasn't really that good if you really think about it. It's all the 80s comedies from back in the day. You know them. Back to the Future. All the good ones that to this day you still talk about. Goonies and stuff like that. That movie I just mentioned, no one talks about for good reason. For
good reason. Leaving the Cube.
Leaving the Cube was good, bro. I just watched that recently.
Great.
It was. I agree. It was
fantastic. I love that movie so much.
I just watched that literally in the last 6 months. No joke. I just watched that. No joke. I never mentioned it here because I don't think anybody cared, but
that should have been a hot topic in itself.
It should have.
Christian Slater, a skater. I mean, come on. Yeah. Skaterless Slater. Come on, man.
Skater, Christian Slater. Yeah.
That's right.
For sure.
Anthony Hawk. Woo, shit. Right, let's close this bitch.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. Takes you again right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week saying, I am a revolutionary. Mr. Santos Dreamy Twister, take us home.
Nope, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna save my point here. This is my checkpoint because I don't want it to happen like it happened last week where it just broke and we lost you. We lost all your progress. So I am saving my game right here. Boop.
Where's the save point? We need the save point.
We need the save point.
Okay. We're doing it now. All right. All right, guys. So we'll see you next week. GG!